And we are live.
All right. Hey guys, hello again. Welcome back to Olympics on My Mind. I know it's been really long time since we last connected, and it's been what 4 or 5 months now that we last sat together and discussed.
नहीं नहीं
I know
क्विज. We did the
uh,
quiz. हाँ.
yeah. We had a small series of live quizzes towards December end, but yeah, that was a different thing. It was also good fun where couple clearly did not win anything. No,
Yeah.
jokes apart. कितना क्या you finished third or fourth?
Third,
I
third,
I
third,
don't remember.
third.
अच्छा, you finished third.
Hmm.
All right.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that was also good fun. But उस बीच में उस दौरान काफी कुछ हो चुका है,
Hmm.
especially over the last 3 months. Uh, both of us actually traveled also for a few sporting events, so
Hmm.
we are going to touch upon that as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, I forgot the main part of the intro, Kapil. As always, I'm joined by
नहीं.
my
हाँ
co-host,
वो.
the one, the only Kapil. How's it going?
Yeah, going well. How are you? Everything's fine. Sports चल रहे
Hmm.
हैं, देख रहे हैं. It's
देख रहे हो? Binge
मैं
watching. So
मतलब
many sports for you to watch, right? Including chess, cricket, and everything.
हाँ, चेस तो चलता ही रहता है. क्रिकेट अभी अभी बंद हुआ है. मतलब ठीक है, आईपीएल इज गोइंग ऑन. आई डोंट वॉच आईपीएल दैट रिलीजियसली. बीच में
Come
थोड़ा बहुत
on,
नहीं. हाँ.
is it?
हाँ, मतलब मेरा वही है ना. आई टोल्ड यू. मैं
That's news to me.
नहीं नहीं मुझसे आई टोल्ड यू ना, मुझसे क्लब फुटबॉल भी नहीं देखा जाता है. मेरा मेन प्रॉब्लम इज आई कांट वॉच क्लब स्पोर्ट. आई कैन वॉच इंटरनेशनल स्पोर्ट एंड इंडिविजुअल स्पोर्ट. क्लब स्पोर्ट नहीं देखा जाता मुझसे. मेरा गिव अप हो जाता है
Hmm.
इवेंचुअली. बट ठीक है.
Okay.
इस बार एक्चुअली आई एम स्टिल वॉचिंग अ लिटिल बिट राइट नाउ. एंड या
Hmm.
किशोर सतपुते इज ऑलरेडी सेइंग आईपीएल इज गोइंग ऑन. उसके बाद शेड्यूल करना था. यार किशोर 11:15 खत्म होता है वो. 11:45. एंड इट्स एवरी डे. पहले ही मेरे को वार्निंग देके बैठा है, 12 बजे के ऊपर नहीं जाऊंगा मैं.
हाँ, वो बात भी ठीक है. एंड ठीक है, आईपीएल अपनी जगह. दिस इज
हाँ.
ऑब्वियसली मच बिगर. सो
हाँ. तो या सो
सो
वही है. चेस चल ही रहा है ऑब्वियसली. चेस कंटिन्यूसली कीप्स गोइंग. इनफैक्ट वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप स्टार्टिंग टुमारो. बट ठीक है, अगेन वही. आई वॉच मेनली इंडिया प्लेयर्स. बट ठीक है. So it's going on, and
okay.
yeah, I
But yeah, you've been keeping track of everything that's been happening,
yeah,
Indian sports wise,
yeah,
Olympic wise, everything.
yeah, more or less. I think थोड़ा बहुत छूट जाता है यहाँ वहाँ, but
Mm.
more or less everything. And I think
Okay.
one thing, I don't know, it's maybe just the shooting which is missing, but it does feel like, yeah, right, Olympic qualification has not yet started. Otherwise, normally by this
Mm.
time it starts. Basically, shooting starts. So it's
Mm.
like shooting World Cup चालू हो जाते हैं, तो कुछ ना कुछ रहता है. But yeah,
That's
one.
also because काफी break लग गया ना, because they changed the Olympic qualification system. So
हाँ.
now the last tournament happened in August
और
for
उसके बाद
Olympic
कुछ है ही नहीं.
qualification, and then
कुछ हो ही नहीं
after
रहा है.
one long
हाँ.
year it'll be another one.
हाँ, but
तो
even
वो
others.
थोड़ा
Yeah, but even other sports, right? Nothing has really come up. मतलब maybe I think एक आर्चरी वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप, I don't know कब है. Maybe June, July something.
Hmm.
That I'm not sure when it is.
Yeah. But I think May onwards it'll be more heated up with
हाँ.
weightlifting starting,
Hmm.
बैडमिंटन का रैंकिंग क्वालिफिकेशन स्टार्टिंग,
Yeah,
रेसलिंग का
badminton.
एशियन स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. इट्स
एशियन तो
नॉट अ
इनफैक्ट कल ही है. कल से ही है
हाँ मतलब
इनफैक्ट.
कल से ही स्टार्ट हो रहा है. इट्स
हाँ,
नॉट
नॉट
अ ओलंपिक
क्वालिफाइड.
क्वालिफिकेशन टूर्नामेंट बट स्टिल इट्स समवट इंडिकेटिव ऑफ द स्टार्ट ऑफ अ साइकिल, राइट?
Yeah, but I think qualifier except for direct qualifier except for ये एथलेटिक्स एंड बैडमिंटन जो चलता रहेगा. एंड यू कैन ओके इंक्लूड इवन टीटी. ये टीटी की भी रैंकिंग चलती रहती है. बट आई थिंक ओवरऑल इट्स क्वाइट लेट ओनली. आई थिंक आई डोंट नो इफ इट्स शूटिंग ओनली इज द नेक्स्ट वन. जो शूटिंग का जो वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप है. एशियन गेम्स इज
या
ऑब्वियसली देयर. एशियन गेम्स में देयर विल बी अ फ्यू क्वालिफायर्स.
बट एशियन गेम्स आल्सो हैपेंस आफ्टर शूटिंग वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप.
शूटिंग के बाद है. इट्स सिमिलर ओनली
शूट
राइट.
वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप इज इन अगस्त एंड एशियन गेम्स आई थिंक इज इन
हाँ,
सितंबर.
राइट राइट, यू आर राइट. शूटिंग वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप 14th अगस्त लिखा है मैंने.
या
एंड एशियन गेम्स विल बी इन सितंबर. हाँ ठीक है. तो मेनली एक्चुअली अगस्त है. उसके पहले आर्चरी वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप से 31 जुलाई है ना. आई थिंक वही
दैट्स
है.
अ क्वालिफायर.
Yeah, that's a qualifier. So I think that is the first one, except for obviously badminton and athletics. Mein to everything is a qualifier. I mean, you expect कि Neeraj Chopra once he starts, it's not gonna take him too much time to qualify.
Yeah, but it's a bit of silence there. Like no news around when is he starting his season and is he joining Diamond Leagues or what? Nothing, right?
Acha,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
let's see.
haven't heard, but yeah, I assumed he should start in Diamond League only. I don't know.
I think first one is what Doha only. बट
हाँ,
दोहा में जैवलिन तो
मतलब
है।
मतलब जैवलिन जो मेरे पास लिस्टेड है, पहला इज 5 मई, 5 मई।
ओके।
सो
हाँ,
5 मई।
वो दोहा डायमंड लीग ही होगा आई
हाँ,
थिंक।
मे बी, आई एम नॉट श्योर, बट या 5 मई लिस्टेड है। बाय द वे,
या
ये जो शेड्यूल जो मैं देख रहा हूँ, जो मैं अभी भी देख रहा हूँ, मैंने एक्चुअली, इफ यू गाइस हैवंट चेक, मैंने ओलंपिक्स ऑन माय माइंड की कम्युनिटी पोस्ट में डाला था एट द टर्न ऑफ द ईयर, सो यू कैन हैव अ लुक।
या मे बी ट्वीट इट अगेन so that people can access it from there.
ठीक है। और so
ठीक है।
I guess we'll go what, sport by sport today, or
या आई गेस स्पोर्ट बाय स्पोर्ट ही चलते हैं, विल सी। आई मीन द बेसिक आइडिया इज टू see our takeaways, our reactions, and kya, how the situation is, or what do we feel,
right,
things are going to shape up going forward, right?
right. So I think we decided we'll start with shooting, right?
Yes, let's start with shooting. I was there in Bhopal for a couple of days, so I
Hmm.
just thought maybe I'll provide that perspective as well because अच्छा लगा काफी obviously, especially the kind of range that they have created there, Kapil.
Hmm.
So you've been to Karni Singh
Karni,
range, right?
that's
I
in
mean
Delhi, right? Yeah.
that's in Delhi, but
Hmm.
it used to host all the major events that used to happen in India.
Hmm.
I think this is the first time World Cup was being hosted in the MP shooting range,
Correct.
and Karni Singh range also you would see how gigantic it is, and it's a huge range, right?
Hmm.
But this one is absolutely world class. I mean, I was super impressed the kind of infrastructure, architecture they had. It the moment you enter, you feel like okay, it's a world class range.
Okay.
Also because it's a very fairly newly built range, so
Hmm.
that is also one of the reason. And in fact, the sports minister there, MP ki, what's her name?
She's the
Yashodhara Raj.
chief
No,
minister, or the
she's
sport.
the sports minister of the
Okay.
state.
Okay. For some reason, I thought she's the chief minister, but okay.
I also used to think that ways.
Hmm.
I think she's sports minister, and she was there for all the days. What I could observe, like she's super enthusiastic, yeah, in terms of the way she was micromanaging, all the things. If everything is in proper shape, and she's built a whole lot of other facilities there in MP. Like
Hmm.
while you're going to the shooting range, you could see equestrian academy, you could see hockey range, you could see rowing there,
Hmm.
and all world class ranges. And recently we did an article and got to know from there that so she apparently was in Eugene when you were also there in for that world championship.
Hmm.
And
Athletics.
now and her the reason she visited there was to see the kind of range, the kind
Okay.
of track that is there in Oregon, and
Hmm.
she's now replicating the same track and field stadium in Bhopal,
Hmm.
right in front of that Bhopal range, shooting range.
Okay.
So yeah, it was great that ways, and also overall, I mean, I would say it's been a decent start only for Indian
Hmm.
shooting,
अच्छा,
if you say.
before we go there, do they have a shotgun also, MP में, कि सिर्फ rifle
I
pistol?
think they are making, yes.
अच्छा,
So
they're making. Okay.
as of now it's just rifle and pistol, but there was a whole lot of construction going on there.
Hmm.
They are going to include shotgun soon,
Hmm.
and from what I heard was like the president, like some murmurs only that the president was there. He was also very impressed, and there were some talks that this is a fantastic range, so why not have a world championship also somewhere in near future.
या हो जाए। कविता का पूछ,
Hmm.
कविता का स्टैंडर्ड क्वेश्चन आ गया, इफ यू वांट टू आंसर।
Yeah, food was okay. Like
हाँ,
I'm not a big time foodie, so not the best person to comment also there. But it was okay. Whatever we tried, it was good. So we typically like tried street food only mostly. The poha was good. I don't know how good it is in comparison with the Indore poha, which is quite famous. But we tasted poha, which was really good.
या संतादीप is
So
saying they already have a shotgun range, maybe एक आधा बनाया होगा, what
yeah,
one range they might have made, but you need like three shotgun
yeah.
fields or whatever you want to say,
Yeah,
right?
maybe they're refurbishing it,
हाँ,
building it more modern, something like that.
या
But yeah,
चलो शूटिंग
super
पे आ
super
जाओ।
facilities. Hmm.
शूटिंग पे आ जाओ, बोलो।
सो शूटिंग का यही है. आई थिंक वीव हैड कपल ऑफ वर्ल्ड कप्स राइट, जहाँ पे स्टार्टिंग विद ऑब्वियसली राइफल एंड पिस्टल शूटर्स.
हम्म,
दो वर्ल्ड कप हुए हैं अभी तक हमारे,
हम्म,
कायरो एंड दिस वन.
दिल्ली,
ठीक है.
सॉरी कायरन भोपाल, हाँ,
भोपाल,
हाँ,
राइट. सो सी, the way I look at it is, for me it's been a decent start,
हम्म,
especially if you keep in context. Like we have a firstly entirely new team
हम्म,
with full of youngsters. Secondly, Tokyo को अगर context में तुम रखोगे, I was just thinking the other day.
हम्म,
So we have often discussed about, that 2019 Tokyo cycle which happened, and if you see whatever medals that we won, majority of those medals, Kapil, came from Saurabh, Abhishek, and Apurvi, right? You'd agree.
I mean, we can,
Majority of the golds
yeah,
I'm talking about,
majority of the golds, yes. I mean, you'll
right?
add the mixed team events as well. So mixed team events, में
So
obviously,
mixed also was comprised of them only, right? Especially in pistol, Abhishek or
I,
Saurabh was always involved.
I think rifle में दिव्यांश and Anjum won. I think a few. Hmm.
Okay, let's take
Hmm.
Divyansh and Anjum also into
Hmm.
consideration.
Hmm.
All of those guys are now sidelined.
Yeah, yeah.
Divyansh and Anjum considering in 10-meter air rifle. है ना?
I think दिव्यांश फिर भी थोड़ा बहुत एटलीस्ट अराउंड द टीम है, बट
Hmm.
उसके अलावा या अपूर्वी इज प्रीटी मच एटलीस्ट राइट नाउ शी इज नॉट देयर अराउंड द
Yeah.
टीम.
So almost 70-80% of
अच्छा.
the golds were in
हम्म,
the mix from these
अच्छा,
shooters, and
अच्छा,
all of them are gone
अच्छा,
now.
सुन एक बात सुन, तेरे वो जो ऊपर की जो लाइट है ना, वो आई
Hmm.
थिंक तेरा सर हिलता है तो थोड़ी चमकती है, तू वही लाइट है कि तू कुछ कर सकता है?
और मैं अपनी पोजीशनिंग चेंज कर सकता हूँ.
नहीं नहीं, पोजिशनिंग इज फाइन, हाँ ठीक है अगर
अभी
तू है.
ठीक है.
हाँ बट तेरा सर हिलता है तो इट्स लाइक वो बीच में चमक के आती है.
ओह ओके. अभी
हम्म,
ठीक है.
हाँ अभी ठीक है, इट्स फाइन. ठीक है, एनीवेज
हम्म.
इट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, इट्स ओके. हाँ सो एनीवेज या मतलब ठीक है, शूटिंग में बेसिकली दे पर्सोनल वाइज देयर हैज ऑब्वियसली बीन अ फुल चर्न.
हम्म.
देयर आर अ फ्यू लेफ्ट, जैसे यू नो इलावनिल इज स्टिल देयर, मनु इज स्टिल
या
देयर,
या
एंड
वेरी फ्यू.
दिव्यांश इज हियर एंड देयर थोड़ा बहुत है. आई
ही इज
थिंक.
ऑल्सो आउट ऑफ द टीम नाउ. या.
एंड और कौन है, आई थिंक एक आधा फिर ऐश्वर्या तोमर इज देयर इन
हाँ, so
15 मीटर.
Aishwarya also came in very late
टुवर्ड्स द
during the
एंड
Tokyo
ओनली,
cycle.
या
Yeah.
दैट्स ट्रू. बट
Yeah,
मतलब
but the point being कि there has been a massive churn in the
हाँ
entire shooting
या.
squad, right? And majority are new faces only. So last year तभी क्या हो रहा था, because of one the kind of system the shooting federation has come up with कि दो trials के basis पे they were selecting the team. तो काफी changes हो रहे थे team में. अभी जाके now we have started to see a few common names which are coming up on a recurring basis कि ठीक है, now you can feel okay, this is the core team for all the events, right?
बेसिकली ट्रायल्स
And
हो गए थोड़े, मतलब इट्स स्टिल बेस्ड ऑन ट्रायल्स ओनली, बट
हाँ
या
मतलब
यू हैव गॉट अ फ्यू
trials as
ट्रायल्स
well
इन.
as World Cup
हाँ,
scores
you have
have
got
been
a few,
factored in now.
you have got a
हाँ.
few things in, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So based on that, I feel it's been a pretty decent start. The score, if you compare the performances, obviously there have been a few shining stars who are shooting really world class scores, and otherwise also we can't always expect कि हाँ 2019 वाला cycle हमारा रहेगा.
Hmm.
But considering the uncertainties of shooting the high competition level, for me, Cairo getting 4 goals and then Bhopal was a bit underwhelming.
Hmm.
Expectations ज़्यादा थी, home conditions हैं.
Hmm.
मतलब even though shooting में इतना ज़्यादा home conditions का नहीं बोला जाता,
Hmm.
भोपाल में specifically the field was a little weak, right?
I
Not
mean,
many,
hmm,
not many European countries showed up.
yeah.
China, I know we spoke about China. China का I still maintain it was the second string team that they
Hmm.
sent. It was not their first team because all the shooters that were there were teenagers
Hmm.
and not known names. And if you see the Lima का अभी starting list आ गया. Lima is the world next World Cup, right?
Hmm.
So there, the main Chinese shooters, which are well known and which have won
Hmm.
Olympic gold or medals, Yang Haoran and their
Hmm.
rifle gold medalist, all of those shooters are there now.
Okay, yeah. So
Okay.
I will just counter that saying I'm not too sure about that second string team, because
Hmm.
ठीक है, I get what you're saying. कि a lot of teenagers came in Delhi, and then you're seeing a lot of known names in Peru, but it's not necessary, right? क्योंकि Chinese shooting is also like very highly competitive, even like Indian shooting. For example, if
Yeah, of course.
if
That
somebody
ways it is.
if somebody looks at the Indian team, for example, which we have been sending for the last two World Cups, and they don't know okay, what is happening in India, many people will think, okay, is this the second string team? Because where is Saurabh Chaudhary? Where is Abhishek Verma?
Yeah.
Where are
No, no.
those
So
known names?
that's just a
Hmm.
small side discussion. Okay, it might be the first string team,
Matlab,
but
I
in
think whether it's first string or second string, maybe send me, there's not much of a difference.
there is not. There is not. I
And the
agree to that.
scores were unbelievable. मतलब चाइना
Hmm.
के जितने भी scores आए थे, nobody can say कि those scores are like second string या ठीक है ये तो मतलब it's like इनको भी नहीं हरा पाए, वो वाली बात बिल्कुल नहीं थी. The scores were mind blowing.
स्कोर का तो वही उनका वही फंड है ना,
Hmm.
बिकॉज द base is so strong. Even
Exactly.
if they are sending their third or fourth best shooter,
Hmm.
that third or fourth best shooter will be better than rest of the field.
Yeah, at least capable of
The
being better
basic
than
funda.
less than the
Right.
field. So
Anyways, but Europeans did not show up,
yeah.
which are typically, they travel across all the World Cups
Hmm.
usually.
Hmm.
Rशियंस तो ठीक है, उनका तो
वो
अलग ही
अलग ही
केस चल रहा है,
सीन
so they
उनका
were
तो खुद
not there.
अलग ही सीन है.
That ways थोड़ा सा underwhelming था, considering you see we are used to winning so many goals every World Cup after World Cup.
Hmm.
But if you see performance wise, the qualification scores that some of these guys put up, so I think we are still very much up there among top 4 5 major shooting countries that are there. So yeah, we can talk about a few names if you want, जिनकी कुछ खास performances रही थी. But yeah, overall I think we are still on a right track. The sustainable system is still there,
Hmm.
कि नाम change होते रहेंगे, but we'll always have shooters who will perform at the highest world class level.
Yeah, overall, I mean, I just felt more ki if you obviously it's very difficult to compare with 2019 when we were doing too well. But the one thing which I felt was maybe the shooters are a little were a little inconsistent. So if you just look at the results of both the World Cups, I
Hmm.
don't think there are too many shooters, for example, who have done very well in both of them. मतलब इट्स लाइक
Hmm.
किसी ने एक में अच्छा कर लिया, किसी ने दूसरे में अच्छा कर लिया. और समटाइम्स यू हैव अ सिचुएशन वेयर क्वालिफिकेशन में द स्कोर वाज अ लिटिल वीक, बट as you said कि Europeans were not there, so you sneaked into the final and then you did well in the final.
Hmm.
So मतलब एक वो मुझे लगा कि maybe the consistency was not there. uh, it went a little up and down. So even if you look at, for example, let's say Tilotama Sen who's shooting
Hmm.
trials में 634 633 ऐसे ही मार
Yeah.
रही है, बट देन फिर एक वर्ल्ड कप आ जाएगा में शी गोज टू 628 or something.
But I think for her, for Tilatoma specifically, even I was very surprised because you hardly see her going below 630.
हाँ
It was just one off case for her, the first case which has happened, जहाँ पे उसने
वही.
अच्छा shoot नहीं किया.
हम्म.
Last Cairo maybe she won bronze, and that also came after 630 plus score only.
Yeah, so तो मेरा मतलब वही पॉइंट था कि इट्स लाइक it was a little up and down. The other thing I felt is के rifle is maybe overtaking pistol now.
It is for sure.
पिस्टल
That
में
too primarily because women's pistol is doing very badly right now.
women's pistol में भी है, मतलब ठीक है यार, they are doing badly. I mean, I have some hopes from Rhythm Sangwan at least, but
Mm.
Rhythm Sangwan का वो एक I think now it's established problem कि she has a problem in the at the crunch point. मतलब when it gets towards the end, because it's happened a couple of times now. एक वो we remember in World Championship she had that 0 on 5
Yeah,
score,
yeah,
which cost her the quota. और इस बार भी I saw, I think it was the mixed team matchup. I don't remember whether it was for gold or whether it was for bronze. I think it was for gold only. It was a mixed team matchup against China, and it was a situation where she sort of carried the team right through. Okay, first of all, the India का पहले पूरा बैंड बज गया. India went like 14-4 down or something like this. Okay, 14-4 down हुआ. 14-4 के बाद 15-5 हुआ tie होने के बाद, and 16 is where you win, right? 16 पे it gets over. So 15-5 say, then they started the comeback. So 15-5 say it went to 15-7, 15-9, 15-11. And those 3-4 shots which was there, it was Rhythm who was carrying the team. And
yeah.
then once you got to like 15-11 and you started feeling, okay, this is now getting close. Otherwise, you had given up first. Then she had like some 8 or something.
Mm.
Right at मतलब at crunch point वो 8 या 9 आ गया. तो आई मतलब एक वो मुझे फीलिंग आ रहा है रिदम सांगवान के साथ, दैट
See,
इज वन
that's a
प्रॉब्लम.
very widespread problem, right, Kapil? Or at least that's the perception is
नहीं बट आई थॉट दैट वाज अ लिटिल मोर
or
स्पेसिफिक. मतलब दो बार हो गया, राइट एट द एंड यू आर शूटिंग वेल
mm,
एंड देन एंड में लास्ट के 3-4 शॉट में तुम्हारा व्हेन यू हैव द फिनिश लाइन और द मेडल इन साइट एट दैट पॉइंट
Mm.
प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है.
Yeah.
So I felt it was a little more specific, not just a widespread thing. But
Mm.
ठीक है.
No, by widespread I meant थोड़ा सा crumbling under the pressure is what I was
हाँ
talking about.
exactly
वो
हाँ.
चीज हमारा हमेशा ही that's always been the core part of our discussion, right?
Hmm.
इसीलिए मेरे को one thing I found a little impressive for Rudransh this time is if you would see जितने भी उसने गोल्ड जीते हैं अभी तक,
Hmm.
be it वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप, वर्ल्ड कप और इवन डोमेस्टिकली,
Hmm.
ही इज ऑलवेज लेड फ्रॉम द फ्रंट. शुरू में ही लीड ले लेता है. क्वालिफिकेशन में ठीक है 630 ऑन द ट्रॉट मारा है.
Hmm.
जहां पे भी फाइनल उसने खेला है, ही इज ऑलवेज लेड फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट और द सेकंड सीरीज एंड ही नेवर लुक्स बैक, राइट?
Okay.
This time it was a little different. If you remember,
Hmm.
he did not start well. He started very slow.
You're saying
Seventh,
Cairo
eighth,
की भोपाल.
Bhopal.
Okay हाँ.
Cairo में again he won gold. He was leading
Hmm.
like right from the front and वो
Hmm.
comfortably जीता काफी.
हाँ भोपाल में तो
भोपाल
हाँ
में
पीछे से ही आया था.
seventh, eighth, seventh, eighth, seventh, eighth,
Hmm.
and like then somewhere in the middle of the event he started, showing that consistency जो 10.6, 10.7, 10.8
Hmm.
show करता है, and which was very impressive actually,
Yeah.
and something you usually don't see in an Indian shooter, for that matter Indian athlete also. So that was something I really liked, which was a bit different.
Hmm. Yeah, he couldn't get to gold, but he still did get to I think bronze, right? Yeah.
गोल्ड तो वो
Chinese
आई थिंक
हाँ I think
शियाओ टुक इट टू अनदर
पागल ही हो
लेवल.
गया था हाँ.
सो
नहीं
या.
बट इस बार अभी एटलीस्ट गोल्ड में वो भी है राइट. यू नीड टू एक्चुअली गेट टू सेकंड पोजीशन एंड देन इट स्टार्ट्स अगेन. सो वो
करेक्ट
वाला भी
करेक्ट
फैक्टर रहता ही है. बट हाँ
करेक्ट.
रुद्रांश आई थिंक इज द क्लियर बेस्ट शूटर वी हैव राइट नाउ बेस्ड ऑन करंट
and
रिजल्ट्स.
and there's a bit of aura around him, at least
यस
from what
हाँ
I could feel and
बन गया
observe,
है.
because you know that he's the main go-to guy for us
हम्म.
right now, and everyone was after him, watching him, talking about him and all of those things.
या वर्ल्ड चैंपियन टैग के से औदा तो आ ही जाता है. ही ऑलरेडी हैज द वर्ल्ड
Yes.
चैंपियन टैग राइट.
Yes, and he did not stop there also, right? World
हाँ
Championship
उसके
के
बाद
बाद भी he
कायरो
followed up
में
with
गोल्ड जीता
those.
है राइट
हाँ.
हाँ. Yeah, he is
So yeah,
definitely the most promising guy we have. And
yeah. Okay,
hmm,
Kapil, I have a question for you since we are on this topic.
hmm,
I also tweeted about this some time back.
hmm,
Uh, Obviously, if he continues with this track, there would be, some comparison. Some people have already started comparing it with what Saurabh did and what Rudransh is doing, right?
hmm,
Like, how do you see this? Matlab, if just, frivolously you have to compare,
hmm,
whose achievement was better, considering रुद्रांश का पूरा साल नहीं हुआ है and सौरभ ने थोड़े लंबे टाइम के लिए किया था,
hmm.
which is okay.
I,
But what is your take?
नहीं,
मतलब, is
I'll
he
add
reaching that level or what?
so I'll add another thing. मतलब दो पॉइंट तो तूने पहले ही बोल दिए कि it's like not so many competitions and
Hmm.
the other thing is I have not yet seen Rudransh dominate a competition जो सौरभ करता था. For example, I mean we remember in Delhi World Cup ourselves. I think we were both there live, and it
Hmm.
was a quota World Cup, right? And I am always one who values a quota World Cup more than a regular World Cup for the simple reason that everybody shows up and everybody is fighting for the Olympic quota. You will not be discussing at that point कि okay चाइना की सेकंड टीम आई है ये आई है वो आई है एंड इवन द प्रेशर इज हायर राइट दैट
Hmm.
ओलंपिक प्रेशर इज देयर. So I remember we watched that Kota World Cup in Delhi where he had eventually won it by like 4-5 points or something. I don't remember. So उसका जो domination level था, I don't think Rudransh has reached that level. But yeah ठीक है maybe he can get there.
Hmm.
But not yet.
Yeah,
एक
that's a
एक
good point on domination. Maybe where I was coming from is, and maybe you'll agree on this with me, rifle में consistency achieve करना is much more
टफर.
difficult than pistol, right?
There's no rule.
And
That's the point, right? Okay, it's like everybody shooting 10.5, 10.6,
yes,
and
yes,
pistol may everybody will shoot a 9 or a 10 somewhere. So if you can shoot
yes,
10.3 always, you're good.
yes,
Yeah, that is a valid point.
and that too, like you would see his last 10 tournaments,
Hmm,
including a couple of national tournaments, including trials.
hmm,
His lowest score is 629.8,
hmm. Okay.
and all the scores he's shot above 630 with inclusion of 633 plus and stuff.
Yeah, so
which is unthinkable I mean consistency at this level,
hmm.
right?
And
So Saurabh never shot 485 plus
nahi,
585 plus on a consistent basis in qualification, right?
but I don't think 585 is comparable with 630 in my opinion,
Why not?
because in my opinion 585 matlab if you shoot 585 you would get more in most tournaments. You would get not just in
So
top 8 but you would get in
mm,
top 4.
yeah,
630 now is a top 8 score. It is no longer a
yes,
top
now it
4 score.
is.
Top 4
Mm.
is like 632 at this point.
So maybe
632 mean
583 then.
but 583
583 could be a parallel
but then
comparison.
583 I think he did shoot reasonably
Yeah, he did.
consistently. So वही वाली बात है
His score was always hovering
हाँ
around 583
and
to
and
587.
587 588 भी गया है जाने को जैसे you give the examples
Mm.
of 633s and 634s 587 588 भी गया है
Yeah, one instance is what
हाँ
I at least remember.
and the other thing which I am always more impressed with Saurabh especially was the finals performance. The
Oh yes,
finals performance
absolutely.
was mind blowing. Qualification was
The
fine.
domination that you're talking
हाँ
about.
and
Mm.
even if you look at just the scores of the final मतलब he used to be thrashing world records मतलब अब ठीक है
Mm.
ISS ने पहले वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड का फंडा ही हटा दिया है
Mm.
बट एट दैट पॉइंट मतलब वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड था एंड दुर्दांश से वही बात है दुर्दांश से चाइनीज आर शूटिंग हायर इन फाइनल्स और देयर आर हायर स्कोर्स देन हिम इन द फाइनल्स राइट
Mm.
मतलब दैट वाज नॉट द केस विद सौरभ ही वाज स्मैशिंग वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड्स आई थिंक 2 या 3 बार ही इज बेटर्ड हिज ओन वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड इन द फाइनल्स नॉट इन क्वालिफिकेशन इन द फाइनल्स
Yep.
सो ठीक है बट ओके वील सी और आई थिंक सौरभ का एक वो भी थोड़ा फैक्टर है कि यू नो ही हैड दिस 4 वर्ल्ड कप्स इन 2019 द 2 ही डिडंट विन गोल्ड वाज 1 गोल्ड बाय अभिषेक तो हम लोग को
Mm.
दुख नहीं होता है उसका रुद्रांश का
Mm.
जैसा गोल्ड अभी चाइना लेके गया तो थोड़ा दुख होता है हमको
But
तो
he did not miss out on a medal there as well, right?
या ही कैन
Bronze या silver तो कुछ आया था.
हाँ हाँ सो ब्रॉन्ज हमें तो रुद्रांश का भी ब्रॉन्ज तो आया ही है ना अभी बट वो ब्रॉन्ज के
Right.
सामने अगर इंडियन का गोल्ड होता है तो उतना दुख नहीं होता है जितना अभी होता है कि इट्स लाइक चाइना वाला ले
Yeah.
गया गोल्ड एंड वी गॉट अ ब्रॉन्ज सो
Yeah.
वो भी थोड़ा
Yeah.
फैक्टर है बट या रुद्रांश इज डेफिनेटली द best we have right now and obviously Saurabh he didn't have a world championship because he didn't
Mm.
compete he was made to compete in the juniors by the coaches so that
Mm.
is like one data point we don't have
Yep. Yep. Also, somewhat similar was with Aishwarya. Also, you could clearly see because he's a homegrown lad. There,
Hmm.
he has trained in that very shooting range only.
Hmm.
So obviously, expectations were quite a
Uh,
lot from him.
hmm.
You could see that he's somewhat star of the squad there.
Hmm.
So and he's been shooting very well. So if you see his past few scores,
Hmm.
सारे 590 के ऊपर ही रहे हैं,
Hmm.
which is a great deal, right?
हाँ.
वहां पे आई डोंट नो क्या हुआ ही हैड अ ह्यूज बैकिंग इन फाइनल
Hmm.
क्वालिफिकेशन अच्छा खासा किया 593 कितना मारा था 592 या 93
His standing is actually got really good, huh? Aishwarya का.
he is
Hmm.
so he's and that's what makes a differential for
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
right? You have to have a strong standing which makes you stand apart from
I mean,
other
हाँ,
shooters.
I mean always feel three position में standing is the game. The kneeling and prone is like just a little bit of preliminary
Hmm,
advantage or something.
right.
That's about it.
Hmm.
Eventually, standing is the game.
बट इस बार वही हुआ स्टैंडिंग में ही थोड़ा सा गुफक
फाइनल
हुआ
फाइनल में ना लेकिन क्वालिफिकेशन में आई
फाइनल
थिंक
में.
अभी भी अच्छा था स्टैंडिंग
हाँ,
उसका काफी
क्वालिफिकेशन
हाँ
वाज परफेक्ट.
हम्म
फाइनल में थोड़ा-सा हुआ वही आई थिंक आई मेंशन्ड इट टू यू लाइक हिज कोच वाज स्टैंडिंग देयर डिस्कसिंग विद समवन. सो दे वर टॉकिंग अबाउट कुछ तो like he couldn't settle in that one series where
हम्म
he had come before which he had come back to third or fourth position I
या
think.
हाँ आई थिंक ही
And
वाज
then
थर्ड हाँ देन ही वेंट फोर्थ आई थिंक इवेंचुअली राइट
yes, and then the series which happened after that, the
हम्म
5 shots,
हम्म
उसमें कुछ technically वो
या
settle नहीं कर पाया अच्छे से, जिसकी वजह से उसके all the shots went haywire.
हाँ
And अब
तूने
वो there are different theories around
या
it, like it could be the home pressure or whatever.
हम्म
But yeah,
Yeah, I remember तूने बोला था there was something like he had to keep the gun down and go again कुछ एक थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम
last
हो गया
moment पे
हाँ
yes,
लास्ट में
yes.
ठीक है
Hmm.
but okay overall on the whole shooting I think decent is a good verdict it isn't great it isn't bad either we would have liked to win at least a couple of more goals ahead of China in Bhopal and competition wise also I mean you said कि भोपाल में competition was a little weak because the Europeans didn't show up but मतलब वो थोड़ा I think weird है because Cairo में there were more teams but then there was not China एंड
Hmm.
दिल्ली में टीमें कम थी, but China is the one who has come and taken all the golds, and they get three shooters, right? They have taken
Hmm.
double medals in so many events.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about it. So I think the only thing it might have impacted our present performance was we might have ended with a few couple of lesser medals because scores were there. Even if Europeans had come to Bhopal,
Hmm.
so scores तो हमने उतने ही
Exactly,
शूट किए
हाँ,
थे कि जो क्वालिफाई कर जाते वो लोग.
exactly. So मैं वही बोलना,
Maybe a
so
couple of medals might have been less.
हाँ, so मेरा point वही, I mean, I would not say कि, you know, if you ask me which was a stronger field, Cairo versus Bhopal, it's a tough
Hmm.
question. Though one thing, भोपाल में एक चीज फील हुई है कि फाइनलिस्ट could have been a little more, ना? Didn't you feel फाइनलिस्ट थोड़े कम थे
हाँ
given the
वो भी था.
field? मतलब कितनी बार तो ये हुआ, राइट, कि यार आरपीओ शूटर्स वर शूटिंग हायर देन द मेन
Yes,
शूटर्स.
yes,
And yeah, by
yes.
the way, guys, जिसको पता नहीं है, so the way the shooting World Cup works is कि you get three main shooters who are eligible to the finals, and then you can have two additional ranking point only shooters who just get ranking points. And at least in Bhopal, it happened quite a few times that our ranking point shooters were shooting higher than the main shooters. And how it is decided is totally on trials in your score. So you can't say कि इसको क्यों नहीं लिया, उसको क्यों नहीं लिया. It's all on the field. They fought it out on the field. Maybe the ranking point shooters have lesser pressure. उससे भी थोड़ा फर्क पड़ता है. But yeah, Bhopal में definitely it did strike a little, you know, कि the RPO
Yeah.
shooters are always ahead and the main shooters थोड़े miss out हो गए.
Some of those RPO shooters are now in team also.
हाँ
For
वो तो
instance, Shiva Narwal is back.
yeah.
Then I think someone was mentioning in the chat also about Nancy,
Hmm.
if I remember correctly.
हाँ.
She shot 634 plus. She's also back in the team now.
Hmm. उसके
I don't
पहले
know back in the team or it's her first time,
नहीं, I
but
think
yeah, she's
I
in the
think
team.
हाँ back I think Cairo में even Narmada was very good. I think she got a
Yeah.
silver or something, but and then she was in the main team in Delhi, but she's now lost a spot. I mean,
Mm,
lost a spot is not. It's basically, you know, the feeling I get, ये जो 6-7 शूटर अभी चल रहे हैं in 10-meter events, not in the 50-meter and the other places. 10-meter event में it's like, you know, you have these 6-7 shooters who are all very close to each other.
mm,
It's just, you know, a little bit here and there. ट्रायल में किसी ने 633 मार दिया, किसी ने 632 मार दिया, या
mm.
इट्स एक एक 10 की जगह एक 9 हो गया, one shot here and there, and they are the position in the team is changing. So
But वो major events, majority events में that cluster of 5-6 shooters is coming थोड़ा सा अलग
हाँ.
से.
अच्छा, बाय द वे, तूने ट्रायल्स के स्कोर्स देखे? बिकॉज आई डोंट नो इफ इट इज आल्सो द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ, यू नो, कि दो ही वर्ल्ड कप खेलेंगे हर साल में. सो आई डोंट नो इफ दैट्स द केस, मे बी बिकॉज, यू नो, नर्मदा इज नॉट शूटिंग इन
No, no, I have the scores in front of me. Narmada has slipped to fourth now.
फोर्थ. हाँ, सो ओके.
And वही हुआ ना, नैन्सी का 634 came into consideration, जिसकी वजह से her averages improved.
Yeah, so
So
it's
that's
very
why.
very close, right?
Yeah, even 11 is not too far. She's on fifth right now,
Right, हाँ.
but she's also very close. वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, 5-6
हाँ वही
shooters
है,
हर एक event में.
हाँ वही तिलोत्तमा, रमिता, नैन्सी, नर्मदा, इलावनिल. आई थिंक दोज आर लाइक योर
Yeah,
टॉप 5 इन वुमेन.
yeah.
But ठीक है, it's fine.
So
And
yeah,
by Olympic time, I mean, I won't be too surprised if we see a few new names also, because there
of
are,
course.
हाँ, because मतलब इस बार वही ना, क्वालिफिकेशन हैज गॉट डिलेड. पहले मतलब जो ऑलरेडी अभी तक दो वर्ल्ड कप हो गए होते, दिस कायरो एंड भोपाल, दे माइट हैव बीन कोटा
Mm,
वर्ल्ड कप्स, but that's not the case now. Now it's like the
yeah.
target is the next world championship in August, I think, right? So वो,
August, and that too after World Championship, there will be a couple of Asian continental qualifications
हाँ
where our mainstay shooters won't be there.
नहीं
If
बात,
let's say we get a few more quotas in World Championship,
हाँ
so obviously वो नहीं send होंगे,
हाँ हाँ,
right? So
कोटा
there
वाले
might
सेंड नहीं
be a
होंगे.
few, so there might be a few new names which might crop up.
उसमें बाय द वे कॉम्प्लिकेशन भी हो सकता है, बिकॉज आई डोंट नो इफ इट्स क्लियर येट, बिकॉज एटलीस्ट कहीं पे आ गया, बिकॉज इट वाजंट क्लियर कि व्हाट इज दिस एशियन क्वालिफायर. आर दे डूइंग इट एट द एशियन चैंपियनशिप, आर दे डूइंग एट द एशियन गेम्स, आर दे डूइंग अ सेपरेट क्वालिफायर? कुछ क्लियर था नहीं. मैंने इनफैक्ट आईएसएसएफ को
हाँ,
ट्वीट भी मारा था कि भैया एशियन
हम्म.
चैंपियनशिप क्वालिफायर कहाँ दे रहे हैं. वो ठीक है, दे डोंट रिप्लाई टू एनीवन. सो
जितना मुझे पता है एशियन गेम्स आर गोइंग टू बी क्वालिफायर.
तो फिर एशियन गेम्स क्वालिफायर होंगे तो देन देयर इज गोना बी अ प्रॉब्लम, बिकॉज टॉप शूटर्स आर नॉट सिटिंग आउट इजीली आउट ऑफ एशियन गेम्स. बहुत पैसा मिलता है, वो फिर प्रॉब्लम होने वाला है उधर.
Okay, hold on. But I also remember reading November is going to be first Asian qualifier, which is going to happen in Doha or somewhere. Not sure. Maybe we can check.
हाँ, so that is Asian Championship, right? Even I
Mm.
assumed कि
And
it should.
even that Asian Championship is only going to be a qualifier tournament.
Yeah, yeah. So even I assumed कि it should be the Asian Championship. Okay. मतलब मेरा भी initial assumption वही था, but then I read the qualification document again and I think there were a couple of gaps there. जैसे for example end में they list the all the qualified tournaments.
Hmm.
उसमें एशिया का कुछ listed नहीं था. There was no Asian Champ. और if you
Hmm.
read the document, I think कहीं पे एक बार maybe Asian Championship या Asian Games use किया कि नहीं, I don't know. But I just remember I reading the document a second time, which left me confused कि what is the actual qualifier. तो देखते हैं, बट या
Okay.
एशियन एशियन चैंपियनशिप होगा सो वी डोंट हैव दैट इशू, बट अगर एशियन गेम्स को क्वालिफायर बना दिया देन वी आर गोना हैव दैट इशू बिकॉज शूटर्स आर नॉट गोना सिट आउट ऑफ एशियन गेम्स जस्ट बिकॉज दे ऑलरेडी हैव अ कोटा.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree.
तो
Agree.
वो भी प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है.
By the way, just got reminded. ये भी पता चला. We were talking about Rahi as well, and we thought she was injured or something. She's just taking a break,
या
sabbatical
हाँ.
from the sport. So she's not shooting anymore.
मतलब ठीक है, वी डोंट नो कितना लंबा है वट एवर, राइट.
But good to see Manu back among the medals.
Hmm.
Decent ही था. I think qualifiers में तो what 584 मारा, right? So that was a decent score.
584
Could
थोड़ी
have
था, 584 था.
हाँ
तो बोला
25 meter I'm
हाँ
talking about,
25
not
में
10 meter.
या मैं 10 मीटर में 584
25
कहाँ
में
गया
she
यार.
won
हाँ
the bronze, right?
हाँ हाँ, राइट
10
राइट राइट.
meter में तो I think 10 meter
हाँ
was
बहुत
really bad.
बहुत
570 भी नहीं था.
560 था इनफैक्ट आई थिंक. या
हाँ. So yeah, and Manu का मैं देख रहा था. So like 2 साल के बाद medal आया. And even before, if you see, just a quick trivia on it, this is her fourth World Cup medal. Okay. And before this, the first three medals which have come in one each in New Delhi World Cup, which is 21, जहाँ पे कोई भी नहीं आया था, which was basically a COVID World Cup. And even before that, the one lone medal in 10 meter came in Guadalajara 2018,
वो तो
which
काउंट ही
was
नहीं
a
होता है.
debut season. वो भी जिसमें हर कोई basically gold जीत के आया था. Akhil Sheoran,
नहीं नहीं,
Mudgil and all of
दैट
those.
दैट फील्ड आई थिंक वाज वीकर देन इवन द दिल्ली वर्ल्ड कप व्हिच यू
Yeah,
टॉक्ड अबाउट.
agree.
हाँ
वो रिजवी था ना हमारा एक शूटर, वो भी I
हाँ
think he also
हाँ हाँ,
won
उधर से तो
gold
सब
there.
लोग नहीं फोड़ के आए. बट या
So it actually got me thinking, on what basis she was a medal favorite or a contender in Tokyo, man.
नहीं, मैंने तो पहले भी बोला है, आई हैव सेड इवन इन द पास्ट, मतलब ठीक है, शी बेसिकली बिकेम वेरी फेमस बिकॉज ऑफ दैट ग्वालाडहारा वर्ल्ड
Hmm.
कप इन 2018. क्योंकि तब हम लोग वर्ल्ड कप मेडल्स नहीं जीतते थे. इट वाज नॉट 2019 जब है ना हम लोग को हर वर्ल्ड कप में 3-3 गोल्ड मिल रहे हैं.
And I
मैं
think second reason was this also because she was winning gold with Saurabh, तो नाम तो आ ही रहा था न्यूज में.
हाँ नहीं, तो वही मैं बोल रहा था. सो पॉइंट
Mixed
वही,
team.
एग्जैक्टली, सो पॉइंट वही हो गया कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैड दैट ग्वाडालाहारा वर्ल्ड कप
Hmm.
व्हिच वाज हर फर्स्ट टूर्नामेंट, सीनियर टूर्नामेंट. उधर शी वन गोल्ड. पीपल डिडंट नो कि द फील्ड इज वीक और स्ट्रॉन्ग और व्हाटएवर. एंड इट वाज अ वर्ल्ड कप जब 2018 में ओके इंडिया को इतने वर्ल्ड कप मेडल कैसे मिल गए, बिकॉज वी डिडंट गेट वर्ल्ड कप मेडल्स एट दैट टाइम. एंड उसके राइट आफ्टर दैट ग्वाडालाहारा के बाद शी हैड अ जूनियर वर्ल्ड कप आई थिंक इन सिडनी और समथिंग. तो उधर भी गोल्ड जीत के आई.
Gold जीता था,
हाँ,
right,
सो
right.
वो
She had a couple of junior world gold.
exactly,
तो उस वजह से.
and then you all eventually had the youth Olympic games as well. तो वहां भी गोल्ड
Correct.
जीता है. सो वो
Point.
इतना सब है ना बिल्डअप होके
हाँ.
इट बिके.
Yes.
एंड आई थिंक शी डिड वेल इवन इन CWG 2018.
Yes,
CWG
she did.
2018 में भी शायद गोल्ड है. सो वो सब मिला मिला के इट बिकेम क्वाइट अ लॉट. बट आई रिमेम्बर इवन बिफोर टोक्यो सेइंग कि मनु इज फाइन, लेकिन मनु का प्रॉब्लम वही है कि शी यूज्ड टू इन 10 मीटर she used to shoot 575 576. You need 578 579. वो लास्ट 2-3 पॉइंट मिसिंग है. बट या मिक्स टीम में she and Saurabh unstoppable. They had like 5 goals out of 5 or something.
Correct, correct.
तो उसके
She's
वजह से
a
हाँ नाम बहुत था.
she's a very unique personality, I would
हाँ.
say. Like whatever I've seen her from Delhi World Cups also and here also, like she's all alone, aloof, with headphones on her head. Not like usually what happens is the entire Indian shooting squad, they are like a proper team. They'll hang out with each other and stuff. She doesn't hang out with anyone. She's only with her parents and मतलब अपने में ही tuned in रहती है, which is a maybe which is something that works also for her.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, she's a very interesting personality that ways.
Hmm. Yeah, I think Vasant is saying कि Manu had won maybe the World Cup final gold as well. ठीक है
Could
maybe.
be.
But yeah, वो ठीक है. मनु का वही था. But let's see. And yeah, the other also was 25 meter, right? 25 meter में भी उसका वो जो 594 and qualification score उसका कड़क आता था.
Hmm.
And then finals में when only the rapid was there and precision was not there, she has struggled a
Yep.
lot right through. So but ठीक है, देखते हैं.
Anything on
Hmm.
shotgun? Shotgun का थोड़ा सा like
कुछ
I think we are on the upwards. एक और मेडल आया
हम्म,
वर्ल्ड कप में.
ये
क्वालिफिकेशन भी आया आई थिंक.
सेकेंड वर्ल्ड कप देखा, सेकेंड वर्ल्ड कप का स्कोर देखा था जो अभी अभी रिसेंटली हुआ.
वो सेकंड बी टीम भेजी ना उसमें.
हाँ बी टीम भेजी, आई गेट इट, बट
हम्म.
लेकिन मतलब देखने लायक भी नहीं था. मतलब यार द स्कोर्स वर
Oh.
सो बैड, इट वाज लाइक मतलब आई थिंक आई गेव अप एट सम पॉइंट कि ये फॉलो भी करना है क्या यार. मी इवेंचुअली
Yeah,
एट
I
सम
didn't
पॉइंट आई
follow.
चेक द स्कोर्स लाइक अ कपल ऑफ डेज लेटर. आई थिंक लास्ट का जो ट्रैप वैप था, इट्स लाइक आई
Hmm.
चेक द स्कोर्स अ कपल ऑफ डेज लेटर कि हाँ ठीक है उसमें थोड़ी कुछ हुआ होगा. इट्स लाइक ठीक है, आई गेट इट कि सेकंड टीम थी, बट सेकंड टीम इज आल्सो या बेंच स्ट्रेंथ राइट. इट वाज वेरी वीक ऑनेस्टली शॉटगन.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I'm keenly following or want to follow going forward is बार mixed is in skeet and not trap.
राइट.
So skeet में men's में तो ठीक है, we are
हाँ.
decent, we do have decent bunch. इस बार the same World Cup I don't know दोहा में था या कहाँ था.
हम्म,
So वहाँ पे we had a qualification from trap women
हम्म,
as well as Ganemat Sekho was involved in that shoot off as well, right?
या
She shot a 120 something. So I think
120 था.
that will be.
आई डोंट थिंक 120 था. आई
हाँ
थिंक
हाँ
स्कोर
हाँ.
वाज लाइक 118 और समथिंग. मेरे ख्याल
Okay,
में स्कोर कम था.
I
हाँ मतलब
I remember 120 because तभी मैं मेरे को मतलब थोड़ा सा स्ट्राइक हुआ था कि okay 120 is like a थोड़ा सा breach.
डिसेंट इन वुमेन, नॉट इन मेन.
Yes.
वुमेन में इट
Hmm.
इज डिसेंट. बट या.
So like not many countries are strong in both men's and women's. The ones who are there are really strong, likes of US and maybe Norway, Russia, etc. But ज़्यादा है नहीं and something to be we can look forward to and can follow
या मे
कि
बी
mixed team का कैसे आता है स्कीट में.
बट यार उसमें डाउन साइड वही है. मतलब वही वर्ल्ड कप में मिक्स टीम देख लो, वी वर नो वेयर देयर. सेम वर्ल्ड
Hmm.
कप, यू जस्ट सी द मिक्स टीम इवेंट्स. स्ट्रीट मिक्स टीम वहां भी हुआ है, बट वी वर नो वेयर देयर.
Of course, I mean keeping into account कि if they continue to improve how they are
हाँ
improving
आई
the
मीन या.
women's skeet shooter.
Ganemat Sekon is definitely the one name you hear. She was actually pretty close to the quota as well in Tokyo. एशियन में ही, बट एशियन में शी वॉज वेरी क्लोज टू द कोटा जितना मुझे याद है. आई थिंक शी
Hmm.
मिस्ड आउट बाय वन शॉट और समथिंग, मतलब एक्सट्रीमली क्लोज.
Yeah.
बट ठीक है, देखते हैं. ऑनेस्टली एटलीस्ट मिक्स टीम में तो होप्स नहीं है. अगर होप एटलीस्ट मुझे,
Hmm.
आई मीन माई.
Vasant is saying it was 120 only and was a national record as well.
ओके
So yeah.
ठीक है, फाइन. बट या लेट्स सी शॉटगन में क्या होता है. होपफुली वी कैन डू समथिंग मैन एटलीस्ट. बट या बेंच स्ट्रेंथ तो नहीं है. इट्स ऑन दोस
Bench
टू.
strength नहीं है. Correct.
और जैसे मतलब बेंच स्ट्रेंथ जो पहले नाम भी थे राइट, अभी सेकेंड वर्ल्ड कप में यू हैड पीपल लाइक जैसे एक लक्ष्य गया था. लक्ष्य शियोदन, आई थिंक लक्ष्य शियोदन
Mm-hmm.
वेंट फॉर ट्रैप. अंगद वीर बजवा था इन स्कीट. बट या scores were like very poor, not even poor, they're very poor. I don't know if the conditions are bad or something, but they it really didn't give you much hope.
Yeah.
देखते हैं. And उसके अलावा और क्या, there was some question about, you want to answer this, why don't we perform well in shotgun as compared to other, is infrastructure an issue?
Yeah, I mean, there's no one particular answer to that, right? It's a whole lot of
Hmm.
cultural issue. We have good grassroots in rifle and pistol, which we don't have in shotgun. Culture wise, traditionally, our shotgun shooters have come from, some of the well off families because
And
the
army.
level of investment and army,
Hmm.
the level of investment or the entry point also is very high in shotgun, which is not the case in rifle pistol.
Yeah, I mean
Lots
one.
of reasons.
Yeah, I mean one of the best example for that is this. If you remember, saw the one story which had gone a little viral during his time was he made this 10-meter range in his houses in his own house, right? So in his small house, he just put a target up and he got a gun and he started shooting. And he
Yeah.
used to shoot from like one room to the second room. और वो जब शूटिंग करता था लाइक एक दो घंटा घर में, एवरीबडी वाज इन्फॉर्म्ड ओके यू आर नॉट अलाउड टू वॉक हियर. So you can't do that in shotgun. You know, a lot of people they make all you need for to make a rifle or a pistol shooting range is 10 meters of space. That's it.
Yeah,
You
you
have
need a whole lot of infrastructure for
हाँ
that.
शॉटगन में वैसे नहीं चलता है शॉटगन एंड ऑल्सो in general every new shooter will first start with rifle and pistol. This is rifle or pistol, not rifle and pistol. Every new shooter will first start with 10 meters because that's the easiest gun to lift. It is also not a real gun, it is an air gun. So
Mm.
even safety wise you will always start with that only if you don't like it, or if you are really into shotgun then you'll go, or maybe if you are into hunting, which is also not an Indian thing, right? Just America mein a lot of shooters will come because they were into hunting from childhood,
Yeah,
and
that's a good point.
shotgun is basically the hunting gun. तो उधर से भी फर्क पड़ता है.
Yes.
जैसे आई थिंक वो जो किम्बली रूड है who's like the most legendary shotgun shooter. She is in fact won mixed tournaments as well in the 90s. मतलब Olympics में
Yeah.
पहले men और women अलग नहीं था. It used to be
Mm.
mixed. I think she also
She's
came
won
from
in trap as well as in skeet.
and mixed gender events, right? Intergender events she's won, and I think
Oh.
she also comes from this only, from hunting
Mm.
only, from a hunting background.
Okay. Interesting.
Hmm. तो वो है तो या let's see hopefully, but
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
of now तो
Yeah,
rifle
I think
pistol.
for shooting mainly it'll be next World Championship, which is a
Hmm.
quota tournament, and then Asian Games.
Yeah,
That's the next thing we need to
मतलब
look
वर्ल्ड
forward
चैंपियनशिप
to.
से ही स्टार्ट होगा मेनली. वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप देन यू हैव
Yeah.
एशियन गेम्स, देन मे बी इफ द क्वालिफायर इज इन एशियन चैंपियनशिप, फिर आई थिंक एक दो वर्ल्ड क्वालिफायर भी हैं एंड में. या लाइक 3 or 4 टूर्नामेंट्स देखते हैं.
Yes. Yes. All right.
Hmm.
Should we move on? Next
चलो
sport?
बोलो कहाँ जाना है.
बताओ which
बैडमिंटन,
one you
बॉक्सिंग,
want.
बॉक्सिंग कर लें.
Let's do boxing.
ओके सो
You want to
बॉक्सिंग.
start? I think you watched a lot of bouts. मैंने तो सिर्फ final देखा था, and that too. I had tickets to go to इंदिरा गांधी इंटरनेशनल फाइनल देखने के लिए, but I couldn't go. I was down with viral. But मैंने सिर्फ फाइनल ही देख पाया. But yeah, I was following a few people on Twitter who were regularly watching, and
Yeah,
yeah.
so I definitely watched boxing. I think I pretty much watched all Indian bouts. एक आधा कहीं छोटा होगा तो छोटा होगा. But otherwise, I watched all Indian bouts, and yeah, it was fun. It was along expected lines. Scoring wise, I mean, I felt कि ठीक है, it's fine. It's not like I didn't feel anything was too ridiculous. जैसे वो सरिता देवी का situation होता था, and सुमित सांगवान in London, वो वाली situation at least I didn't feel. But yeah, overall it was good, and it moved honestly along expected lines
Hmm.
until the four semi-finalists all went on to win gold. So
Yeah.
तब तक I think it was all going along expected lines कि हाँ ठीक है, this girl is good, ठीक है. We knew Nikhat Zareen was good, we knew Neetu Gangas was good. Lavlina came back, which was a great boost because she's really struggled after the Olympics, and she
But
even
in terms of eye test, did she meet your expectation? Like, was she really good that she won her semi-final, especially against the Chinese? I want to know because
yeah.
the Chinese, I think we exchanged a few
Hmm.
notes also before her semi-final,
Hmm.
right? कि Chinese को तो कैसे हरा पाएगी is
The
what basic reaction was.
Yeah, the Chinese match was undoubtedly a best match in my opinion. She
Okay,
was
good to know.
awesome in that fight, and specifically, I don't know if I'm remembering wrong, but जितना मुझे याद है, that was the fight where in the third round she was awesome. So it's like पहले दो round they got split, which was like
Mm,
one judge had given both rounds to Lavlina, one judge had given both rounds to Chinese, and the remaining three judges were split 1-1
mm,
after two rounds. And third round में Lavlina dominated, and she basically got on all the cards except maybe I think the one card जो judge ने already Lavlina को fight दे दिया था, वो फिर करता है कि मैं 29-28 कर दूं. But her third round was the best, and which was a little bit of a misnomer there, or a little bit of an unprecedented thing in Indian boxing there, क्योंकि ये this one thing I saw in general with Indian boxers, उनका वही strategy है, they go all out in the first two rounds. तो अगर पहले दो राउंड में नहीं होता है, थर्ड राउंड हमेशा लगता है कि थोड़ा वीक है उनका.
mm.
They have still pulled out fights. I think Nikhat also pulled out one fight in the third round, and she
Yeah.
did very well. दूसरे भी जीते हैं just about in the third round, but it always felt कि the third round में the opponent is sort of coming, and the Indians are maybe a little tired because they have sort of exhausted the energy in the first two rounds. कि
Mm.
दो राउंड ले लो और वहां पे हम मैच जीत गए तो बस खत्म. But yeah, Lavlina against Chinese was absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
Uh,
and that too in a Olympic category, which
huh,
makes it even more
yeah,
impressive.
and not just Olympic category. Matlab, she's jumped up 6 kgs. I mean, that's not a joke.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
69 to 75 is a big deal.
yeah.
ठीक है, the competition wise I am not too sure. Honestly, boxing में is so much upheaval happening, not everywhere. Competitions are so few, and अभी तक है ना वो, if you guys follow IOC और IBA में तो एकदम मतलब रशिया यूक्रेन वाला हाल हो रखा है उधर, तो वर्ल्ड वॉर हो रहा है वहां पे.
Yeah, good way to put it.
हाँ.
हाँ, बट इसी वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप की अगर बात करोगे तो ऑब्वियसली not many European nations were not there, and mainly absence of America and Great Britain, right, which are two
Yeah,
like prominent names
America,
women
Britain,
boxing में.
Ireland, and Ukraine. I think those were the four.
Ireland was not there,
Hmm.
yes. So yeah, that makes a huge
And
difference.
even Ukraine has a few, I think, in women especially. So those four were the big ones. But then Russia was there. So अब Olympics में क्या होगा, you don't know.
Mm.
तो बट ठीक है, रशिया वाज देयर, लेकिन रशिया का आई थिंक वो जॉन जॉन सेल्वराज का भी कमेंट आया था. आई थिंक आई डेंट सी टू मेनी रशियन बाउट्स, बट उसका भी कमेंट आया था कि रशियंस लुक रस्टी, कि उनको बहुत टाइम से
Because they're
कॉम्पिटिशन.
coming back after a long hiatus.
हाँ. एंड एक
Mm.
एक आई थिंक मैंने थोड़ा बहुत देखा था कि इट्स लाइक द लास्ट वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप वाज इन टर्की वुमेन्स का,
Mm.
एंड
Mm.
टर्की हैड वन लाइक 7 गोल्ड्स देयर.
5 goals, yeah.
हाँ, 5 होगा, ठीक है, सॉरी. हाँ,
Mm.
टर्की हैड वन लाइक 5 गोल्ड्स देयर. बट टर्की का जो मैंने देखा था दिस टाइम, ऑब्वियसली दे हैड नथिंग. आई थिंक मेडल भी नहीं था, नॉट जस्ट अ गोल्ड. बट जो आई थिंक नेम्स देखे मैंने, इट लुक टू मी लाइक मे बी इट्स अ सेकंड स्ट्रिंग टीम. आई एम नॉट
Yeah, yeah,
श्योर.
it was. The boxer who was in Lavlina's category in Olympics also
हाँ,
did not
वो
show.
तो नहीं, बट लवलीना's कैटेगरी वो नाउ दैट्स अ क्वेश्चन मार्क देयर,
Previous
बिकॉज
category,
एग्जैक्टली
69.
हाँ, सो वो 69-75 का थोड़ा क्वेश्चन मार्क हो जाता है.
Mm.
बट
Mm.
ठीक है, देखते हैं. बट या, बॉक्सिंग ऑनेस्टली यू कांट बी डिसअपॉइंटेड. इट वाज
Yeah.
overall very good. We got the 4 goals. ठीक है, Saviti is not gonna be an Olympic category. She was in
Mm.
81 और नीचे लवलीना है ही, and it's the heaviest category. You can't expect her to drop down too much. So that's
Yes.
gone.
Even for those who did not win a medal,
Hmm.
I think what 54 में who was it?
54 में there was, I
Pinky,
think, Preeti I think was the name.
Preeti. She lost
Yeah,
a very close bout to Thai.
yeah, and she actually beat a very well-known established boxer in the previous round. I'm not too sure she was the उसके credentials क्या थे, whether she was a world medalist or an Olympic medalist or something. But she basically won against a very good boxer in the second round, and then in the quarterfinal she went down to the Thai, and it was, both fights were very close. They ended like 4-3, so that is like it can go anywhere. And yeah, she was very good. Uh, even
Manisha Mon,
Manisha, even
57.
Manisha also, I felt I was a little surprised by her scores in the quarterfinal. Okay, ठीक है, वो bias होता ही है मेरा. And तो but yeah, I thought at least, if not one, at least the scoring should have been a little more equal on
Mm.
the cards, but it wasn't. And she was good until the quarterfinals as well. Jasmine, Jasmine, honestly, a little underwhelmed because I had high
Yeah.
expectations from her in 60 kg. She was fine in the first couple of bouts, like in quarterfinal where she got outplayed, outboxed, completely
Mm.
outboxed,
Mm.
and I
But
had
yeah,
high
overall,
hopes.
okay. So overall, you get a feeling that so whenever quota tournament, whichever is that tournament, once it is decided, so we
It's
are.
decided by the way. Quota is Asian Games.
I mean, IBA had its own stake, right? That
नहीं, बट उसका
we are
कुछ
going to
मतलब
come.
नहीं, उसका कुछ
ठीक है,
मतलब
नहीं
नहीं
है
है ना.
मतलब चलो
हाँ, कुछ
Asian
नहीं है.
Games it
हाँ,
is.
हाँ.
So whenever we start with the quota and even till the Paris Olympics,
Hmm.
we have good bunch of women boxers who are going to hunt in pack. And why I'm saying this is because Olympics में usually ये रहता है कि let's say even if you are not a medal favorite and you're outside and you're decent enough boxer, कभी भी draw,
Draw में होता ही
considering
है.
the draw is favorable or a bout goes in your favor, so
Hmm.
medal के chances बन जाते हैं. You have 5-6 boxers
Hmm.
entering Olympics, a couple of them world beaters, so मतलब medal आने की possibilities obviously gets enhanced much more.
Yeah, and by the way, I'll just say on the point of the draw as well. So World Championships में भी the draw was seeded, but the seedings were total crap. Huh? The
Yeah,
seedings
yeah.
made absolutely no sense.
They
And
didn't even disclose on what basis the seedings were, or did they?
I don't know. I didn't check whether
Mm.
it is. But I think उसमें थोड़ा बहुत वो भी concept हुआ होगा of shifting categories. तो जैसे for example, Nikhat moved from 52 to 50, and she was unseeded. So मतलब that was the only thing I could think of कि how can a reigning world champion be unseeded, especially when you
Mm.
had I think 8 seats, but still she was unseeded.
Yeah.
उसका वही हो सकता है कि 52 के पॉइंट्स 50 में
Switched. Mm.
कैरी फॉरवर्ड नहीं हुए होंगे. But yeah,
Mm.
I don't have trust in boxing seeding, especially because seeding का रियल पता वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप पे ही चलता है. But then even in Tokyo ना, because IOC has taken over, the continental events got much more weightage.
Weightage.
And
Mm.
continental events में फिर seedings go haywire. वो the Africans will come up and get seeded, the Pan Americans will come up and get seeded when maybe they are not as good. So
Yeah.
तो वो issue होता ही है. So yeah, boxing का draw, even if it's seeded, it's gonna be relatively blind only. तो वो थोड़ा
Yes.
बहुत luck
Yes.
factor होता ही है. And I'll just say, by the way, Saurabh Singh is saying Manisha was 65. Manisha is actually in 57, which is also an Olympic category. So just pointing it out. And yeah, देखते हैं. But boxing में वही है. I mean, I'm not too sure you can read too much into the world championship. It definitely
Mm.
went well, but what will happen we don't know. और वो एक मैंने
And I
tweet
think.
और वो एक मैंने
Go
tweet
on.
मारा ही था कि it's like 4 of the last 5 world championships, the maximum goals have been won by the home nation. So for
Mm.
whatever reason, and यहाँ पे भी ठीक है. There was a lot of fights, which were very close, and they could have gone the other way as well. तो वो close fight में maybe home advantage थोड़ा तो रहता ही है. It's like
Correct.
you give it your. Yeah,
Yeah.
देखते हैं.
I was actually touching upon this, and Mohit also mentions this that Neetu will not go to Paris. I think we are more or less
हाँ.
settled on that
Yeah.
Nikhat versus Neetu debate that we had, right?
हाँ. अब तो उन लोग ने वो भी कर दिया ना. I mean, have you seen that? कि they have removed trials, right?
They have, and
हाँ.
yeah, wanted to discuss that also. So Bikash also had this question that why is Amit not going? So I think the squad was announced today only for World Championship.
Right.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw कि Deepak was
Yeah,
selected. I'm not
yeah,
that surprised because honestly, even Deepak was very good.
he is.
Amit is the big known boxer, but point वही था. Deepak and Amit were both in the same category even in Tokyo, and it was
Mm,
just like कि Amit was a little ahead of Deepak. Deepak, by the
mm.
way, has beaten I think Hassan Boy को हराया था कि Zoirov को हराया था. I'm not too sure. I think he's beaten
Zairov.
Zoirov. हाँ.
Mhm.
So he's
So
beaten
just
Zoirov.
just to reiterate, so basically what Boxing Federation has done, usually previously wherever the field was strong, or for that matter, sometimes in all the categories they used to have trials, and
Hmm.
whosoever won that trial used to represent India in that major championship. But now they've done away with that entire format. Now they have an internal evaluation process. Not much clarity on what the entire process is. Do they have bouts in that? Is it entirely based on sparring, judgment, or there's no much clarity on the scoring methodology and all of those things? But it's entirely internal process done by some of the experts in Boxing Federation, and based on that only they are selecting the entire squad, which is why also Amit does not make it to the team and Deepak makes ahead of him.
हाँ, so मैंने एक्चुअली आज ही देखा था. आई थिंक इवन विकास इज सेइंग इन द चैट कि दे हैव पुट आउट द डॉक्यूमेंट डिटेलिंग द क्राइटेरिया. आई हैवंट रेड इट, बट मैंने देखा था कि सम डॉक्यूमेंट हैज कम. बट the feeling I got was वही है कि instead of having a direct trials, they have moved to a basically a selection system where
Yeah, yeah.
the coaches and whatever mentors or whatever they have in the
Mm,
camp, they are
mm.
now looking at how the boxers are doing and evaluating them on various things and deciding. I mean, I personally am never going to be a fan of a selection process, but
Yeah.
it
See,
is
on
what it is.
paper,
Uh,
ideally, it does seem to be more comprehensive
hmm,
because trial में anyone is having an off day, so वैसा वाला रहता है.
hmm.
But yeah, it's even more. मतलब एक तो वैसी subjectivity involved है sport
हाँ,
में. It makes it even more subjective, and till the time everything is
fair.
silently, हाँ मतलब no one is making any noise, तब
Noise
तक
all
ठीक है.
noise already हो गई है, by the way. I think like 3 boxers went to court even before women world championship. They were
Oh,
not
they
the
did.
big, yeah, they were not the big names, but they did
Hmm.
go. एंड ये
हाँ,
सिलेक्शन में सबसे
वही
ज्यादा,
है।
बट सिलेक्शन में आई थिंक सबसे ज्यादा यही होता है कि especially in a country like India, the biggest thing which happens in selection is कि it gets difficult to drop the big names. So मतलब ठीक है, you can say कि Amit has been dropped, but then Deepak had also beaten Zoidov, and Amit is no longer sort of a big name because of the very bad performance he had in Tokyo. So
Yeah, but he had a absolutely amazing Commonwealth Games
true, but वो फिर वही बात हो
where
जाती
he was the standout performer. He won all his bouts fair and square in a dominating
है, yeah,
fashion.
true, but ओलंपिक मतलब he doesn't have that name power. कॉमनवेल्थ इज ग्रेट, लेकिन लोगों को ओलंपिक्स पहले
Now
याद
he doesn't have, yeah.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली वो लोगों को ओलंपिक्स पहले याद रहता है कि ओलंपिक्स में क्या हुआ. सो मतलब देर आर नॉट गोना बी पीपल, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इन शूटिंग, वेन एवर यू आर डिस्कसिंग शूटिंग समबडी विल आस्क सौरभ का क्या हुआ, और व्हाट हैपेंड टू सौरभ. इन अ सिलेक्टिव प्रोसेस ही वाज प्रोबेबली नेवर गेटिंग ड्रॉप्ड द वे ही वाज, जितना बड़ा उसका नाम हो गया था इन टोक्यो. निखत फॉर एग्जांपल नाउ इज ऑलमोस्ट नेवर गेटिंग ड्रॉप्ड बिकॉज द
Hmm.
नेम इज टू बिग. ठीक है, यू कैन से कि
Unless
निखत,
she gets injured or something.
हाँ इंजर्ड इज डिफरेंट, बट ठीक है निखत के सामने भी यू कैन से ओके चलो नीतू इज ऑल्सो अ वेरी बिग नेम, सो दैट इज देयर. बट लेट्स से नीतू डिडंट एग्जिस्ट, निखत इज नेवर गेटिंग ड्रॉप बिकॉज द नेम इज टू बिग. लवलीना इज नॉट गेटिंग ड्रॉप नाउ. She is the
Hmm.
Olympic medalist and she is the world champion. She is not getting dropped in a selective process.
हाँ, वही
कितना भी कर लो.
ऑब्जेक्टिविटी थोड़ी खत्म हो जाती है, so that's the
हाँ,
main
और
concern.
एंड दैट इज, ये तो वी आर टॉकिंग क्लीन नाउ. इफ यू गो इनटू डर्टी अबाउट बायस एंड फेवरेटिज्म एंड एवरीथिंग, फिर
Yeah,
इंडिया में दैट्स प्रोबेबली नेवर दैट फार. बट
yeah. We've had some legendary boxers जिन जो trials हारने पे भी they used to
हाँ,
like sort of create controversy out of it.
या वो तो प्रॉब्लम तो वही है ना, इवेंचुअली इट्स जजेस ओनली गिविंग द स्कोर कार्ड्स, राइट. बॉक्सिंग का वो
वही.
प्रॉब्लम था. इनफैक्ट द एचपीडी हुज इम्प्लीमेंटेड दिस न्यू सिलेक्शन पॉलिसी, उसका जस्टिफिकेशन यही है कि रादर देन हैविंग अ सिचुएशन वेयर टू बॉक्सर्स फाइट, जजेस कम एंड जजेस आर स्कोरिंग देम, ओके, हु कुड वेरी वेल बी रॉन्ग, उसकी जगह लेट द कोचेस स्कोर देम. इट्स लाइक दैट इज द जस्टिफिकेशन दे हैव गिवन.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
there are two close fighters, judges भी score करते हैं. It can go anywhere. Judges are not gonna be right all the time. So ठीक है, मतलब boxing में फिर भी ठीक है, but yeah, I am always in favor of trials, but at least so far the results are good, so you can't complain.
Mm, yep. So
मैन
yeah,
में मैन में तो और कुछ
men's.
बोलने का है नहीं. आई मीन आई थिंक वर्ल्ड
Mm,
चैंपियनशिप के बाद ही होगा जो भी होगा.
April end is when the world championship is, so वहां से थोड़ा सा और पता चलेगा how the patterns are shaping up.
अप्रैल एंड है, अच्छा ठीक है, मैंने फर्स्ट में लगा रखा है, ठीक है. या
Mm, all right. So
चलो
yeah,
देखते हैं. गुड
that
गुड
is
गोइंग. बाय
about
द वी डिडंट
boxing.
टॉक अबाउट निखत, बट आई गेस देयर इज नो नीड. आई मीन she's like the clear best boxer we have right now.
She is.
There's
She
no
is.
doubt about that.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And by the way, you should listen to the interview. So recently there was this sports line है क्या है? Sports Star
हाँ,
Hindu.
हाँ स्पोर्ट्स
Jonathan
स्टार
did
है.
this interview
हम्म,
on that YouTube channel with the national coach Bhaskaran.
हम्म,
So he had a few perspectives to give on how do they go about doing their business in terms of training women
हम्म,
boxers and
हम्म,
what kind of expectations they have and stuff like that.
हम्म.
So it's a good watch.
ठीक है, देखते हैं. एंड यार नीतू
Mm.
का मतलब वी टच्ड ऑन इट कि शी इज नॉट गोना गो टू द ओलंपिक्स, सो there's just no category, right? मतलब she is in 48, Nikat is in 50, and that's what you have. So
Yeah, yeah.
54 jump is too big. 48 to 54, 6 kg is too big.
Yep, yep. Vaibhav Soni here was flexing. Neetu
I
and I
saw
work
that.
in same office. Maybe Vaibhav, you would want to give more context on that.
Hmm.
अभी यहाँ पे तो पता नहीं, but let it out on Twitter.
नहीं यहाँ भी दे सकते हो,
हम
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Hmm.
हाँ यहाँ पे भी
हाँ,
ठीक है, चैट में भी
हाँ.
you can put
If you
it.
have some
It'll
contact,
be
हम लोग इंटरव्यू
fresh.
भी कर सकते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है.
Yeah,
Hmm.
ठीक
ठीक
है. Okay,
है.
what next?
बैडमिंटन चले.
Oh, badminton. थोड़ा
थोड़ा
सा
थोड़ा डाउन
things
डाउन
might.
हटा लो, पहले हटा देते फिर. ठीक है, बट दूसरा भी डाउन ही है जो अपने को करना है, बट ठीक है चलकर.
नहीं समझा नहीं मैं.
मतलब एक बैडमिंटन मेन बचा है, एक हॉकी मेन बचा है, दोनों सॉर्ट ऑफ थोड़े डाउन वाले ही
Okay.
है.
अच्छा उसके बाद रेसलिंग.
देन इट्स मोर लाइक लुक फॉरवर्ड, राइट. ठीक है, रेसलिंग भी ऐसा ही है.
ओके. बैडमिंटन में आई डोंट नो, मतलब ऑब्वियसली बाय द लुक्स ऑफ इट इट्स अ प्रेटी बैड सिचुएशन. काफी
या
matlab, obviously, it's full of negative reaction on the face of it.
Hmm.
But ठीक है, let's try and break it down event by event, so
ठीक
as
है.
to see कि हाँ micro level पे how things are.
ओके.
Which one
या
do you
प्लेयर
want
बाय
to
प्लेयर
talk?
कर ले, नॉट जस्ट इवेंट बाय इवेंट. 5-6 तो प्लेयर
प्लेयर
हैं.
थोड़ा ज्यादा हो जाएगा,
पाँच
पांचों
छः तो
इवेंट्स का
प्लेयर
एक
है.
बारी.
चलो मेन
हाँ
सिंगल्स कर
चल ठीक
लेते
है,
हैं.
प्लेयर वाइज.
मेन
हम्म.
सिंगल्स में वी हैव 3 मेन
ठीक है.
प्लेयर्स, राइट? ओके.
या
प्रियांशु का आज आई थिंक ही वन टुडे क्या? आई डिडंट सी दैट.
या he's into the finals now.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Priyanshu is the, I guess, the positive spot in men's singles. He looks
Positive
to.
spot just to carry on the momentum
हाँ.
of Indian badminton. That's all.
Yeah.
If you say that okay,
Opponents are not
he's
that good.
going to be
हाँ.
the next big deal for us, and someone who is going to replace a Pranoy or a Shrikant, obviously there are doubts there.
Okay, you have doubts? मतलब maybe
Yeah, of course.
2-3 years down the line. Not.
Yeah, 2 3 years down the line is a huge time. I mean,
हाँ.
obviously he can improve much more, and uh, get in a few more technical skills, improve his physical prowess also, and all of those things.
Hmm.
And to be honest, I haven't seen him playing also a lot,
Yeah, same
so
with me.
don't want to. It's just
हाँ.
based on hunch that sometimes you get to feel that okay, the player is exceptionally
Okay.
talented. How it used to be
Yeah, I got
with
it.
Laksh.
वो buzz नहीं
That
है.
हाँ buzz नहीं है, but वो just from the eye test you don't feel that.
हाँ, वो feeling नहीं है मतलब. And he's already
Yes.
what, 22 or something? I'm not sure.
He is, and likewise for his counterparts Kiran, Mithun,
हाँ,
and
I think
Miraba.
I
So
I think सारे बड़े ही हैं, right? I'm not too sure about Miraba, but Kiran and Mithun तो I think they.
Miraba must be 19 turning 20, something
हाँ,
like that.
yeah. But Kiran and Mithun तो I think must be older than Priyanshu only. Hmm.
Hmm. But yeah, that's for the future.
हाँ, ठीक है.
Talking about what we have in present,
Yeah.
I think so. Lakshika, ठीक है. Vinayak did a nice interview with him.
Hmm.
He had a few things to say about that.
Hmm.
थोड़ा बहुत already उसमें से पता था that he's coming off from a nose
Injuries and
surgery.
virals.
हाँ हाँ,
Viral
और वो
viral
सब
भी हुआ
था.
था. हाँ.
करेक्ट करेक्ट.
Hmm.
सो वो सब है उससे ज्यादा important, and I still don't have answer to that question, is he's had a change in coaching system also. ठीक है, his father has been a
अच्छा.
mainstay as his coach,
Hmm.
but I still maintain that जितनी भी major achievements लक्ष्य की आई हैं अभी तक,
Hmm.
he always had that Korean coach by his side,
Okay.
which he does not have any longer.
Hmm.
Now he's coached by Anoop Sridhar. If
Hmm.
you would remember, he used to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. Hmm.
So
Former India player. हाँ.
yes, so there has been a change in coaching system. Obviously, he has a good system around him, so they would have thought through it.
Hmm.
But वो change क्यों हुआ? One, that is still nobody knows.
Hmm.
Second, maybe he's still transitioning and adapting to the new style of coach, which sometimes does take time. Then him falling sick again and again, having going through a small surgery and all of those things.
Hmm.
So कई बार वो छोटा सा blip आता है, and that too, when you have Olympics especially on your mind,
Hmm.
and April onwards or May onwards is what the Olympic cycle is going to start.
Hmm.
So वो थोड़ा सा low, uh, there comes a period where you are not performing at your peak, is what I think about Laksh. He's still okay. I'm not too concerned about him. He's
Hmm.
still the best that we have in terms of talent, in terms of capability, in terms of ceiling.
Hmm.
And if someone who can get us a medal in Paris, he's obviously one of those.
Yeah, I
It's
agree
just
with.
about time for him to get back.
Yeah, I agree with you on the potential part, but I am definitely a little more worried than you. एक तो ठीक है, I get it कि there's a lot of things happening, as you said, surgery and everything, but the other factor is also, I don't know if it's just what they call that sophomore slump, which is like कि the other
Hmm.
players now know him, they take him seriously. It's not like his first year on the senior tour where other players
Yeah.
are not looking at him. So the other players are looking at his game, they are working out his game, they are watching his videos, or players or their coaches or their teams, and they are finding out weaknesses, and maybe they have found
Yeah,
something.
but that's not the case. At least
Hmm.
in my opinion, that's not the case. It's not
Yeah.
like others are able to beat him at his game.
But
The
wait,
matches that he's lost he's lost because
I know he's not looked good. He's not looked
he's
good.
not looked good physically.
Yeah,
So in
I
those
agree.
third games, he hasn't been in the best of physical
Even
shape.
second games, I think बहुत second games में भी he's
Yes,
not
second
looked
game
good.
also. Yes.
But एक I think थोड़ा वो भी factor है कि maybe people are attacking him more. कि मतलब ठीक है defense उसका बहुत strong है and they are not so much worried about his attack as well. तो थोड़ा वो भी फैक्टर आता है कि ठीक है डिफेंड करता रहेगा लेकिन अटैक में तो कुछ है नहीं. सो इट्स
Yeah.
लाइक समथिंग व्हिच एक्सेल्सन यूज्ड टू डू अर्लियर
Mm-hmm.
कि मतलब अटैक भी ज़्यादा करो उसको थोड़ा एंड डोंट बी स्कैर्ड ऑफ हिज अटैक. सो इट्स लाइक यू कैन अटैक के यू डोंट हैव टू स्टैंड बैक कि ओके इसने स्मैश मार दिया तो मैं क्या करूँगा. यू आर लाइक यू कैन हैंडल इट एंड गो अहेड एंड अटैक अ लिटिल मोर. आई एम नॉट श्योर.
Yeah.
We'll see
Yeah.
time.
I am not too worried. Like game
Hmm.
wise, he's still there. He has like a
Hmm.
lot of variety of shots in his armory.
Hmm.
Defense के लिए he's more known, but his
Yeah, the
attack
movement I
is
agree.
also really well. Movement is good. He's very
Hmm.
fast on court.
Hmm.
All of those things are there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Just that needs to be in good physical
fitness.
shape
वही
and mental shape. That's all.
वही physical. But yeah, I agree. The biggest missing thing has definitely been the movement and the speed and the just the power. वही
Hmm.
physical shape especially. You can say
Yep.
physical shape.
Yep.
So yeah, hopefully he comes back. But ठीक है
Hmm.
देखते हैं. मतलब
What
वो
is? Hmm.
मतलब the worrying
Complete.
part is that only कि it's like Olympics is starting and मतलब qualification is starting and sometimes the pressure itself can get a little too much. Like it happened with Shrikant before Tokyo, right? वो मतलब कुछ हो ही नहीं पा रहा था and it became a situation के Olympic qualification period है, ranking बढ़ानी है तो you can't even skip tournaments. You have to keep playing. You have to keep playing. He kept playing every tournament. Every tournament he used to lose in the first or the second round. But he
Hmm.
could never take a break. It's like break कहाँ से लूँ
Yeah.
qualification तो करना पड़ेगा. So I just hope he doesn't get, and he's not gonna get seeded now anymore.
Hmm.
He's dropped to
Yeah.
what 25 or something.
He is. He is someone I'm actually worried about because I don't see another gear left in him.
मतलब you're saying
I
Shrikant, right?
Shrikant,
No, I
yes.
was saying Lakshya. Ki Lakshya has dropped to like 25 or something, right? He's not gonna get
Ha.
seeded anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. Like you were mentioning Shrikant also, right? How
हाँ.
it used to happen, how it happened for him before Tokyo.
Hmm.
So I was commenting on that ki I was still hopeful for Shri
Hmm.
that he still has it in him to make it to Paris.
Hmm.
But Abhi, from whatever I've seen at this beginning of this year, he doesn't seem like उसका जो indifference level है वो इतना ज़्यादा आ गया है अब that it starts feeling that that is his level only. Like he is no more a top 20 player.
Hmm.
The inconsistency in his game, the errors that he's making, that's like a base game for him now. ठीक है, and there is no room of improvement left because he doesn't feel motivated enough, and that's going to be the ultimate case with him. So there I am a little worried. He's already past 30 now,
Hmm.
and I doubt if he's able to switch another gear and come back to around top 10.
Yeah, okay. I think Shrikant ka the biggest problem by far has been errors. Okay, he मतलब इतने matches हुए हैं where I feel like he is totally dominating the rally, and then with the winner in sight वो net में मार देगा या वो just बाहर मार देगा और he'll just hit a wild shot and it will go bad. So according to me, he's always been a bit of a rhythm player. उसका
But that rhythm is not happening
हाँ
only
so
for a long
right.
time now.
Well, yeah, ठीक है. It's not basically since the Thomas Cup, right? Thomas Cup के बाद everybody has been struggling only. So
Thomas Cup also again, Kapil, if like you see it at a micro level, the players that he beat, none of them were world
हाँ
class, right? None of them were on top 10 or top 15 players.
नहीं एक दो हराए हैं जैसे जॉनथन क्रिस्टी को हराया था.
Jonathan Christie हराया था, ठीक है.
ठीक है
That is
एंटनसन को हराया था लेकिन एंटनसन himself was struggling at that point.
he Antonsen then was not even in top
Yeah, yeah.
20 or top 30
मतलब
form. Yeah.
रैंकिंग पता नहीं but yeah he was struggling at that point.
No, I'm saying top 20 30 form
फॉर्म
में नहीं था
आई
वो.
गेट इट हाँ बट ठीक है वो स्ट्रगलिंग बट नॉट जस्ट थॉमस कप राइट उसके पहले भी ही हैड अ फ्यू गुड रिजल्ट्स यू फेल्ट लाइक ही इज कमिंग बैक टू फॉर्म एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी आल्सो हैड हाई होप्स गोइंग इनटू थॉमस कप बिकॉज ऑल थ्री ऑफ देम आर डूइंग वेल बट उसके बाद से ऑल ऑफ देम आर स्ट्रगलिंग सो ठीक है श्रीकांत का वो श्रीकांत इज अ मेंटल प्लेयर उसका वही है कि इफ ही फाइंड्स हिज रिदम एट सम पॉइंट he can come back, but about whether it happens or not, that time will
A
tell.
lot of it would depend on his motivation only and
Yeah,
how
I don't.
much he's,
Yeah, in my
still
opinion, I don't think.
motivated to go
Yeah,
to Paris.
yeah, I don't think that's a problem. That's just my opinion. I don't think motivation is a problem. The problem is the errors, which is like they've crept in, and he's always been a confidence player. He needs his confidence back. So his confidence is low. That I will agree. I don't think motivation is a problem.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Confidence wise, also, he doesn't
Hmm.
seem
Huh.
super confident on court,
Yeah. So confidence
and
is definitely low.
like is always grimacing on court while missing out on those shots and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's one factor. I still maintain that the second position, and maybe it's a unpopular opinion.
Hmm.
The second spot is his to lose.
To
I and
lose. Okay.
Yes, is it's his to lose because I still do not trust Pranoy as a player in the pressure period,
Hmm.
and that is maybe what is we'll see in the, maybe it's a silly prediction at my end, I don't know, but
Hmm.
I feel Pranoy, whatever he was last year,
Hmm.
he that was his peak,
Maybe
and that peak we have already seen. And now when the actual pressure tournaments will start,
Hmm.
we'll see probably Pranoy not matching up his last year's level.
So when you say second position, his to lose, you mean second position in the Indian team or in the for from an Olympic perspective?
Okay, yeah, I meant from Olympic perspective that he still can make under top 16,
Yeah, I
and
think.
that's everything is in his hands only,
Yeah.
because
So
I feel Pranoy is not gonna be there.
yeah, that I'll agree. I think Shrikant definitely has a better chance than Pranoy. We'll talk about Pranoy as well. But I will still say कि if you have to pick two people who will qualify for the Olympics and you have to bet, you will still bet on Lakshya and Shrikant ahead of Pranoy. At
I
least,
would for sure,
yeah, even
yes.
I would, but I'm not too sure I would bet anymore कि two will qualify. मुझे हाँ
Yes, that's a different perspective,
नहीं
and
हाँ
I do not disagree a lot
हाँ
on that.
because there's
Yes,
a huge difference there, right? मतलब एक तो qualify हो जाएगा guys. The way the qualification works, मतलब एक में if all these three get injured and don't play at all, एक में प्रियांशु भी qualify हो जाएगा. That's how badminton में one person qualifying in singles is easy. Okay, because just the way the
look, but
qualification works.
top 16 also on paper should not be that difficult for a Indian men singles.
But it depends on how they're playing, right? They are not playing that well.
Right now they are right now they are not playing that well, but on paper I'm saying it should not be that difficult. Majority of the part in last 5 6 years, if you'll see,
Hmm.
or even for that matter, even extend that to last 7 8 years, we've always had a couple of players among top 16,
But problem वही है ना.
except for that Tokyo wala patch जो बीच में हुआ.
But problem वही है ना, the players have always been up and down, and everybody is on a down right now, and you don't know if they can come back up. So
Yep.
that's the problem. देखते हैं what happens, but ठीक है. Uh, the hope
While
is
we are
there.
at,
हाँ,
the
hope is
hope
there.
is there.
But
Obviously, the hope is there that we have three contenders for two spots, and
but yeah.
it's not a surprise if a couple of them qualify.
Hmm.
But ठीक है, we have to take into consideration कि एक अगर वो मिस आउट भी हो जाता है टॉप 16, सो वो भी इतना बड़ा सरप्राइज नहीं होगा. इट्स
Hmm.
इट्स अ 50-50 सिनेरियो, टू बी ऑनेस्ट, राइट नाउ.
Yeah, so I mean वही बात है वो. श्रीकांत का तो definitely I think it's all about form. It's all
But
about his
what
form and confidence. It
Okay,
needs to.
Shri, okay, but
हाँ.
what is the deal with Pranoy?
प्रणॉय का
He
तो
he had
सेम
a
ही चल रहा है.
fantastic year. He ended up on a good note where he had beaten Axelsen.
Hmm.
But what is up with him?
But it's the
मतलब
same thing, right? So
the same.
Pranoy basically what happened was he had sort of disappeared from the scene, metaphorically, in that he was not near the top players. He was always playing, but he was not near the top players for a couple of years there. And then last year he sort of came back to his best. But his best has always been beat the top players, lose to the lesser players somehow.
Yeah,
मतलब he
one day is beating Yuchi, the other day is losing to
नहीं,
Popov. Doesn't.
it's like every day is beating Shiuchi and every day is losing to Popov. Not even one
Hmm.
day. मतलब
Hmm.
उसका वही
See,
चलता
I
है.
For Prannoy, I just want to draw one parallel here, and obviously it's sport. Not always, similarities happen.
Hmm.
For Prannoy, exactly same thing happened before Rio. If you see his 2015,
Hmm.
which is where he, first showed up the glimpses and of his
Hmm.
talent and the ceiling.
Yeah.
Same thing happened. He performed really well in 2015.
Hmm.
Then when things started getting heated up, ठीक है, I mean 2014 15 first half,
बट आई डोंट
he
थिंक इतना एलीट पे था, राइट? जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आई
इतना लेट
रिमेंबर,
में नहीं था, बट ही वाज कमिंग अप द कर्व.
हाँ,
ठीक
बट
है,
ही
अच्छा
वाजंट,
परफॉर्म कर
हाँ,
रहा था.
वाजंट टेकिंग द टॉप गाइज ऑन बिकॉज मुझे
Yes.
याद है 2016 ओलंपिक्स में वी वर थिंकिंग कश्यप और श्रीकांत एंड देयर
No,
वाज,
no,
या,
no.
देयर वाज
So
प्रणॉय देयर।
2000, I'll tell you. So
अच्छा।
2016 Indian Open,
हम्म।
Pranoy had the, I think he was still in contention.
हम्म।
He had to get a couple of good results, ठीक है,
हम्म।
from Indian Open, from Thailand Open and stuff.
हम्म।
And there was one more tournament because I have done an article on it 4 5 years back. I wrote a blog about it.
ओके।
So वहाँ पे I noticed this thing कि उसमें Indian Open में he had a fantastic draw, Thailand Open में he had a
ओके।
fantastic draw, and he lost in the very first round in both the those tournaments, and he could have easily capitalized on his run and made it to Rio, but which never happened. And to that, my theory was obviously कि हाँ, when the
ही इज
pressure
यंग, आएगा,
mounted on the
हाँ।
tournaments, हाँ,
हम्म।
so वो pressure वाली बात थी that like in the main tournaments he could not perform, and could not beat even the ones which any other day he would have.
बट प्रणॉय का तो वही है ना, आई मीन ड्रॉ डजंट मीन एनीथिंग, इट्स लाइक उसका ऑपोजिट ड्रॉ है। आई मीन ऑनेस्टली, यू टॉक्ड अबाउट मोटिवेशन विद श्रीकांत, मुझे लगता है प्रणॉय, द मोटिवेशन एक्चुअली कम्स विद प्रणॉय। आई डोंट नो इफ इट्स जस्ट अ थिंग वेयर ही फील्स मोर मोटिवेटेड एंड मोर रेडी टू गो अगेंस्ट अ टॉप प्लेयर के आज मेरा टफ मैच होने वाला है और मैं इसको हराऊंगा, एंड ही इज लाइक चार्ज्ड अप एंड रेडी टू गो। And then when a weaker opponent comes, maybe he becomes overconfident, or maybe he's just not studied that player enough, so maybe he doesn't know what to do. I don't know how it works, or
Hmm.
the other theory is just it's just
Yeah,
fatigue.
he's always been a bit of enigma, to be honest. Like
Huh.
injuries have played its part
Hmm.
for sure. He's been injured quite a lot of
Yeah,
times.
and the
But
most
he's been
common
a
is,
enigma as well.
that, right, कि he'll get to the quarter or the semi, and then doesn't matter who the opponent is, he'll go down, कि
Hmm.
दो मैच खेल लिए अब हमारे पास, या दो या
Yeah,
तीन मैच खेल लिए, चौथा खेलने की ताकत नहीं है हमारे पास।
yeah, yeah.
So
हाँ मतलब in terms of titles देख लो ना, what does he have to show?
and
Except for Swiss Open,
hmm,
I don't think he has any other World Tour
yeah,
title.
and Thomas
Just
Cup
one.
इसीलिए worked perfectly for him, right? Because you didn't have to play too many matches. The number of matches were reduced, and even the gaps were a little more. Jesse, I don't know whether he played in the league stages or not, but even if he did, it was like easy opponents, and then eventually you have like your quarter, semi, and final, which are like your three big matches.
Hmm.
And उसमें भी he didn't play the final. He won the quarter and the semi,
Yeah.
which was his two big matches which he got through. But ठीक है, yeah. So Pranoy, there is a chance of him qualifying for sure. You cannot just
Of
write him
course,
off.
he's in top 10 right now.
अभी भी है क्या? I
he
think he dropped out. No, I'm not sure.
he was world number 9 last I checked,
देख
and
सकते हैं. You can see.
the ठीक है, तू एक बारी देख कपिल. I need to switch places यार. I need to charge my laptop
हाँ ठीक है, तू
and
तू ले
we
आ तेरा
connect.
चार्जर, मैं तब तक रैंकिंग देखता हूँ। ठीक है, सो या इफ यू लुक एट राइट नाउ द रैंकिंग्स, ओके ही स्टिल नंबर 9, ठीक है, सो ही इज फाइन। You obviously cannot count him out. Number 9 पे है, and Shrikant and obviously Lakshya have both dropped quite a lot. Shrikant is 21 and Lakshya is 25. तो रैंकिंग तो ठीक है, इसमें बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम यही है कि दे वोंट गेट सीडेड एनी मोर, सो यू कैन ऑलवेज गेट बैड ड्रॉज, बट देखते हैं, लेट्स सी व्हाट हैपेंस। एंड Saurabh is asking about Sai Praneeth and Sameer Verma. I mean, Saurabh, no real hopes there. It's like they seem done. Unless जैसे Pranoy came back last year, if one of them manages to come back at some point, great. But right now it's very difficult. And Saurabh also commented about Dhoni versus Shrikant. Dhoni is 42, Shrikant is 30. Different sport, Saurabh. Different sport, and also different level. I mean, Dhoni is not playing for India anymore, right? He's playing in IPL. He comes and hits a couple of sixes. He does well. He wins on leadership. That's fine. But badminton is a much more physical sport. You can't compare. और क्या है?
Yeah, I'm back.
Top six. Subhra Ganguly saying top 16 is difficult. 5 Chinese, 5 Japanese. No, Subhra 5 Chinese, 5 Japanese नहीं है MS में. वो नहीं
वैसे
हाल
भी इवन इफ दे आर तो
है. नहीं बट वो टॉप
मतलब
16 नहीं बट वो रैंकिंग में टॉप 16 ही काउंट होता है ना. वो डजेंट मैटर कि कितने लोग हैं वहाँ पे.
हाँ वही मतलब ओनली 2 फ्रॉम ईच कंट्री कैन क्वालिफाई एट द मैक्स.
या बट दो क्वालिफाई करने के लिए यू हैव टू बी इन 16 irrespective of if there are 5 in the top 16 ना. So
यस.
रैंकिंग वाइज इट मैटर्स बट या ठीक है. देखते हैं.
ओके, व्हाट अबाउट सिंधु मैन?
हाँ सिंधु. चलो पहले वील गेट आउट ऑफ द कोच थिंग कि लॉट ऑफ पीपल आज के कोच को फायर करने की क्या जरूरत है. आई मीन आई ऑलवेज फील के द कोरियन कोच ना पाक पाक नहीं है ना अभी.
हाँ ओके.
So मतलब ठीक है. Honestly, I didn't think it was a very surprising decision. We have this thing in India कि it's like अगर एक coach है तो उसी को रखो. Yeah, we were doing well with him or we were not. We did so much with him or her. So why change and you know. But yeah, I think coaching के साथ वही है you know कि sometimes you just need a new perspective. If things are not working, it's fine to change a coach. And I think सिंधु के साथ case वही था कि यार results are not coming. And that's why she changed the coach. She's obviously still looking because she's not going to take a big decision like that so easily. And at least from whatever we have heard so far, this is not like the previous Korean coach Kim situation where there were differences between the coach and the personal differences between the coach and the player, due to which there was a split. This seemed like a professional decision. Okay, it's not working anymore. Maybe I need someone new to get something new in my game. So I didn't think it was a problem at all.
On a side note, so I was there in Indian Open when she had a match against Kate Thong of Thailand, which she lost actually, and the Korean coach Kim was in Kate's corner. She was coaching Kate Thong.
Acha, the Kim, not Park. Okay.
Yes, Park was obviously on Sindhu's side, and you could actually see she was like, I don't know, she's that fired up in general also, but that must have been a special case. It could be that also, but yeah, she was totally fired up, very very passionate, and you could see that she's come with a strategy and she wants Sindhu to lose that match pretty badly.
Yeah, I think generally होते होंगे यार. It's been a long time. I doubt she's carrying that yet.
I mean, could be a case of personal grievance also. Just a side story I wanted to share.
By the way,
Yeah, but
हाँ, just since just a slight diversion. Boxing में you remember Santiago Niva? He's coaching Australia. So कई matches में it was India versus Australia and Santiago was on the other corner.
Okay.
Just an interesting to note, nothing else. But
yeah,
I
on
think
Park.
एक final में भी था. I think Lavlina का final was शायद against Australia. But हाँ.
Okay.
ठीक है, go ahead. Park. हाँ.
Yeah. So yeah, on Park also, I think she's still hunting for a new coach. At least that's what she's mentioned in one of the interviews. But yeah, it's totally based on her discretion. Outside of results also, it could be that maybe some things were not working out during their training, or they were not on the same page in terms of how do they want to go about their training.
Exactly.
So that might have happened, and वो कहीं ना कहीं पे stagnation आ जाता है, that you want a change in your training and your daily
routine
patterns, right? Daily routine. So yeah, tennis players do it all the time, right? I often compare Sindhu's journey with that of a WTA player. It's there are a lot of similarities. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think we are on the same page there, right? Okay, ठीक है, change was required and she did it, which is fine.
Yeah, but yeah, it is important for her to
start now.
Yes. Also, like, there is this thing, right? Sindhu, I mean, talent wise, she's not the world best. Whatever tournaments she has won, whatever major achievements she has had, it's been always a coach who has been behind her, who has pushed her to that to that achievement. Be it Rio Olympics, Gopi was there. You could see she's mentioned in a lot of interviews how Gopi pushed her.
Mm.
World Championship, there were a lot of report around again Kim being her side. Then Tokyo again we saw Park. So yeah, I think and Vinayak, I was discussing with him. He also has this says that basically Sindhu has been a coach's player,
Okay.
right? So yeah, like it'll be very important for her to have a good coach by her side
Mm.
if in case she still is looking for getting a couple of medals from World Championship Olympics on her side. Although outside of Sindhu, so Sindhu is one thing talking about her. My worry for Sindhu comes from not, you know, from her own motivation that is still there. You could clearly see it in the
Mm.
Swiss Open, in the
Yeah.
Spain Open. That motivation is still there. She has that hunger that she still wants to win it.
Mm.
My major worry comes from the competition that is drifting apart,
Yeah.
right? And the way things are shaping up in women's singles right now,
Mm.
obviously Yamaguchi and Anseyang, they're clearly setting the both of them are setting themselves apart. They're the world beaters right now. As of now, considering, if you see a previous few years, if Sindhu matches up to Yamaguchi, yeah, I keep on joking about it that it's a easy win for Sindhu.
Mm.
But today, if Sindhu faces Yamaguchi,
Mm.
I think it'll be a different matchup, is what I feel, because Yamaguchi has tremendously improved over last 1 year, and Anseong and Yamaguchi are totally, uh, uh, cut above rest of the field.
Yeah, वो gap definitely आ गया. So there's Anse
Yes,
Young and Yamaguchi at the top. Then maybe Yufei and Tai Tzu Ying at number 3 and 4.
yes.
Marin is a little bit of a wild card because she, even now, I think she's pulled out of a tournament or something. She keeps getting
Uh,
injured. So Marin is a wild card, but then the remaining come. And Okuhara is drifted apart, even more so than Sindhu. And but उसके बाद फिर वही आता है. After the four, you have your Bingjiao, Internon,
and
Sindhu,
yeah,
and then
Intanon is also not the same Intanon we have
I
known.
think
She's
she's
also
at a
drifting apart.
yeah, I think she's at a Sindhu level right now, right? Sindhu Internon में I think I don't remember last में I think Internon won, but ठीक है.
Mm,
Sindhu Internon are kind of at a similar level, and then of course you have the new girls who have come.
yeah.
You have the two Chinese and Wang Zi and Zhang Yiman, and even Cho Chu Wang is pretty good.
Mm. Jung is coming up really well.
कौन?
Tunjung, the
हाँ,
Indonesian who beat
yeah,
Sindhu.
Tunjung who beat Sindhu and she destroyed Sindhu.
Mm,
Unfortunately, वो I think तेरा comment was very right in I think Spain Open ही था, right? कि she got to the final and you felt like okay, she's
mm,
doing well, she's starting to come back, and then you had that final and she got absolutely blown off
yeah,
the court, and it sort of felt like everything got undone.
yeah. Although with Sindhu, I think one more thing is there, but we are past that stage also now.
Hmm.
But so she hasn't been injured quite a lot in her career, right?
Hmm.
So there have been two major breaks for Sindhu in her entire career so far.
Hmm.
One time, 2015, she was
That
injured.
14,
She did
15,
not
yeah.
before Rio.
Hmm.
So she did not play for good 3 4 months, and then when she came back, she is a slow progressor. She took some 4 5 tournaments.
Hmm.
One tournament after another tournament, she had first round, second round exits
Hmm.
before she came back to her
Hmm.
actual level.
Yeah, and lot
Then
of yeah, and I'll just add that a lot of people don't remember, okay, going into Rio, we really had no hopes from Sindhu. Everything was
mm,
focused on Saina.
yeah, she was
हाँ,
losing to Intanon 21-6, 21-7
yeah,
like that.
मतलब वो अभी सोचता नहीं है because she's become such a legend now. But 2016, we really had no hopes from Sindhu. And I remember because I was there at Rio, I watched the semi final, I watched the final. I had the tickets hoping to see Saina, and when Saina lost, we thought the tickets are useless now. और मतलब
Saina entered as a gold favorite, I would say.
हाँ सो मतलब वंस शी लॉस्ट हम लोग वी आर लाइक यार ये क्या हो रहा है सब लोग हार रहे हैं ठीक है टिकट है चले जाएंगे ओके स्टिल सेमीफाइनल फाइनल देखेंगे बट we were really dejected then and then when Sindhu came out it was you know it became the best experience of a best events of an Olympic experience but ठीक है go on
Yeah. Just to complete my point, there was a second break also, which was COVID induced. It
हम्म,
wasn't an injury break
हाँ
as
वो
such,
ठीक है.
but after that 8-10 months when she came back, there was those there were those three tournaments which happened in Thailand in bubble, right?
हम्म,
All those three tournaments, she had a first round exit,
yeah.
losing to Mia, losing to Pavi, and uh, can't recall maybe the third one.
हम्म,
And even after that, she had a first round loss.
हम्म,
So yeah, just based on these two, she's had that pattern where she's a slow progressor, and once she comes back from a break, she
हम्म,
usually takes her own time to get back
get
into
back.
that groove and momentum. But
हम्म,
वो भी अब she's had quite a few tournaments, काफी tournaments हो चुकी हैं, 6-7 tournaments.
हम्म,
But now is the time maybe she
हम्म.
starts performing.
Yeah, the slow progression point is a great point. I have to say that. I hadn't thought of it, so it's a very valid point there. And yeah, ठीक है मतलब okay again वही वाली बात. You can take at least some positive कि ठीक है चलो final तक तो पहुंचे. Some winning feeling as they say, she got some winning feeling in the Spain Masters, even though okay the opponents weren't the strongest or anything. And it seems rarer and rarer these days for her to beat one of the top girls.
Mm,
जिसमें तुम्हारे
that's true.
वही आनसे को तो कभी हराया नहीं है, यामागुची से खेली नहीं है इन दिनों. But you can include, people like Bing Jiao and Chen
Mm,
Yufei and
mm,
Internon and those girls. And even she's been struggling even against the likes of Wang Ziyi and Cho Chuang and
yeah,
Tun Jung.
yeah.
So,
And it's a just because you mentioned Ansiang, it's a very early bold call, but I don't know. Like you get this hunch that right now only if I have to predict, Ansiang is by far the favorite to win the
okay.
that Paris gold, and she's the future world number one for sure. That is very much evident from her game. But for Paris also, like I would say outrightly, she's the favorite for gold.
Yeah, I'm not
Is
gonna
that
deny that. I'm not gonna deny that. She really is firing on all cylinders. She struggles, I think, against a few players. एक वही Yamaguchi के साथ there's a rivalry. थोड़ा
she struggles against Bing Jiao is
हम्म,
what I noticed in Indian Open when I was
हाँ,
watching their
हाँ.
semi-finals.
I think टाई के सामने भी थोड़ी rivalry. I think she's come out on top, but it's been very close.
Hmm,
The couple of few matches they played. So yeah,
yeah,
देखते हैं. But ठीक है, सिंधु से hopes are still there. Last 3 months definitely not good. You are definitely hoping for her to come better, and it does a little bit sometimes. सिंधु को at least in पिछले 3 महीनों में ऐसा भी लगा कि the same coaching aspect कि she doesn't know what to do. मतलब it's she's saying openly, and that's actually pretty rare in Indian sport, where she's saying openly कि I'm not injured. Normally
hmm,
ऐसे केस में some people will say हाँ ठीक है I'm still recovering, अभी भी थोड़ा ये एंकल में प्रॉब्लम है, ये नी में प्रॉब्लम है, आई एम स्टिल लर्निंग टू पुट वेट. एटलीस्ट डिफेंड देमसेल्स कि हाँ मेरा परफॉर्मेंस अभी भी अच्छा नहीं है बिकॉज आई एम स्टिल नॉट फुल्ली fully fit. Okay, but Sindhu is not that. Sindhu has openly come and said, "I am now 100% fit, but things are not working out, and hopefully they will work out at some point."
hmm.
So देखते हैं. And yeah, by chat में चल रहा है नीरज सिल्वर. By the way, for people who are saying कि
I think that question was for you.
हाँ, it was for me, इसीलिए मैं देख रहा हूँ. By the way, so I'll just first of all clarify the question. Kavita is my sister, and she's saying Neeraj silver because she's talking about the World Championship silver in Eugene, where we were live. She's not talking about the Neeraj gold in Olympics. So that's just the question. And Neeraj silver versus Sindhu silver. I mean, okay, my experience, I think Sindhu silver was better because of the atmosphere of the ground, atmosphere of the stadium. The stadium in Rio was much louder and much more happening than Eugene. Neeraj was also great, but yeah, just the stadium experience was better in Rio for me. ठीक है, सिंधु का देखते हैं फिर. So hopefully she can come back, but we have hopes, but little disappointing in the last 3 months. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the basic thing.
yeah.
And
The only positive thing from Indian badminton has been, I think, what Chirag Satvik, and of course women's doubles,
yeah,
Gayatri Teresa.
so Chirag Satvik, at the moment at least, Chirag Satvik seemed to be the only truly elite world class players we have. जिनको
Hmm,
जिनको देख के यू डोंट फील स्कैर्ड. मतलब इन दिनों व्हेन यू सी इवन सिंधु और यू सी एनी ऑफ द सिंगल्स प्लेयर्स, एटलीस्ट फॉर मी आई गेट द फीलिंग यार मोस्टली तो हारने ही वाले हैं, अनलेस द
hmm,
अपोनेंट इज लाइक रियली वीक. So if opponent is
Yeah,
like,
they
let's,
they they are simply the team to beat right now on the world tour men's
hmm,
doubles में अगर देखोगे तो.
hmm.
And सिंधु की हम बात कर रहे थे, she takes her own time. Talking about them, they did not actually took
They
a
did
lot
not
of
take
time.
any time. Huh?
Mm,
Satvik injured tha, right? He came and they were right back. ठीक है, they lost narrowly to the Chinese in All England, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
that was a
and not
disappointment.
just Chinese. The Chinese who are one of the top probably 3 or 4 teams
Yeah,
today
on
on
fire.
the
Basically, the
yeah.
Chinese on fire. Though. They are really on a fire run. So yeah, Chirag Satvik definitely very high hopes, and
Mm.
Chirag in fact even managed with who was the partner in Asian mixed team?
Dhruv Kapila.
हाँ, so Dhruv के साथ भी Chirag did very well.
He was really good.
Yeah, which
Yes,
was
he
also
led from the
quite a
front.
surprise actually. हाँ,
Mm-hmm. So yeah, उनका मतलब यही है. It's a
मतलब they are a
whole lot of
clear top team right now. It's like they are
yes, the
if
best bet that we have
हाँ,
from Indian badminton.
just based on current results, undoubtedly a best bet. And they
Yes,
have
yes,
been our flag bearers for quite a while now. Basically, I think since the Thomas Cup. Thomas Cup के बाद से if anybody has performed well in badminton, it's been them only.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
The partnership with Bo also seems to be working pretty well.
hmm?
So the
Part,
entire, I mean,
partnership
their
with
like coach Bo Magnuson,
हाँ
Matthias Bo. I mean,
हाँ हाँ अच्छा हाँ वही ओके ओके या
their partnership, as in
हाँ
like Matthias
नहीं नहीं
Bo
आई
coming
गॉट इट
together.
हाँ आई गॉट इट आई डेंट हियर बो आई जस्ट सेड पार्टनरशिप विद बो सुनाई नहीं दिया मुझे बट या चिराग सत्वेक जस्ट फायरिंग ऑन ऑल सिलेंडर्स स्टिल कैन ऑफ कोर्स इम्प्रूव नॉट टू मेनी दे वन अ टाइटल रिसेंटली आल्सो 300 जीता था वो व्हिच वन डिड दे विन वन ऑफ द
This
300
year.
अभी अभी जीता था एक जब शर्ट निकाली थी चिराग ने
हाँ, स्विस ओपन only
हाँ
no.
स्विस ओपन में वही बोला वन ऑफ द 300s स्विस
तो
स्पेन और ऑलिंग्स
बोला
तीन
तो
हो गए
मैंने
ना
स्विस ओपन इंडियन बैडमिंटन
सेवियर
प्लेयर्स जीत रहे हैं तो मतलब ऑल इज वेल.
सेवियर ऑफ इंडियन बैडमिंटन स्विट्जरलैंड बेसिकली
या या
हाँ
एक एक चीज आई थिंक थोड़ा सा ये है कि लाइक except for Satvik Chirag, we missed out on women singles, men singles. That because these guys haven't started well, they lose out on a lot of you know ranking points specifically for World Tour finals. And World Tour finals during Olympic qualification
हाँ
is
ओके
a major tournament where you can win some bucket load of points. So
उसका
that's a major miss in my opinion, I think. Secondly, अभी जैसे सुधीरमान कप से ओलंपिक क्वालिफिकेशन स्टार्ट हो रही है, right? And so in the team events also, you often, so how it happens is you get 10% of your ranking points, and then 1% of the points of your opponent. So if you are already in a good position in terms of your ranking, you get more ranking points. You getting me? But
ठीक है
for Sindhu, for Shrikant, for Lakshay, they lose out on the points coming from Sudhirman Cup also.
बट
So
ठीक है
that's just one thing.
बट ठीक है सिंधु का रैंकिंग वाइज तो स्टिल नंबर 9 सो सिंधु के साथ वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा
But
श्रीकांत
she
एंड
would
लक्ष्य के साथ
want to be seeded before Paris, right?
yeah but seeds are how many 8 seeds right so she is
8 seeds.
so she is 9 so it's okay it's not that problem not that problematic
Hmm.
she is 9 right so it's okay श्रीकांत एंड लक्ष्य आई एग्री श्रीकांत एंड लक्ष्य के साथ वो प्रॉब्लम भी है एंड वही ड्रॉस का भी प्रॉब्लम आ जाता है कि दे आर गोना बी अनसीडेड नाउ सो देखते हैं बट या
Yeah,
badminton has been disappointing only we cannot say and Satvik Chirag are basically the lone bright spot except
yeah,
for the Trissa Gayatri but Trissa Gayatri also in one tournament which was all England
agree.
उसके
So that's
बाद
what I
मतलब
was
क्या हुआ
also saying.
पता नहीं
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
gave so
So
many hopes and then Thantan Gopal basically
ठंडन गोपाल तो ज्यादा हो गया, मैं ऐसा नहीं बोलूंगा.
हाँ
Look, their level is obviously not there, but something happened in All England, something clicked,
hmm
right? Which kind of showed us that like the capability is
is
there.
there
On their day they can beat a few world class pairs. So
hmm
something is clicking for them. It's just that that thing is not clicking every single time, or
hmm
maybe there are certain pairs against whom they still need to improve quite a lot. So
hmm
obviously very new pair, lots
hmm
of things to improve for them.
hmm
But why, like indications are quite positive, flashes are there, ceiling काफी high है. So yeah, if they continue on this learning curve, matlab, we and by this year end, like if let's say they are targeting a top 10 finish and they are able to sustain as a top 10 player,
Hmm.
so then yeah, weird things have happened in the past also in Olympics. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in my opinion, I think having high hopes from them in Paris is, I think, a little too early. Maybe I'm just being conservative, but मुझे लगता है कि maybe Paris is a little too early. We can expect them to qualify for sure, and then whatever happens, just Sindhu did it right. So I mean, if they can actually do something in Paris, it will be equivalent to Sindhu in 2016, or in fact
Yeah,
even more
yeah,
than
yeah.
that. Actually,
So
Sindhu,
not
in fact, at least had two world championship medals in 2013 and 14. So उस हिसाब से I think maybe Paris is a little too early for them. It was similar to also a little bit of Satvik Chirag in Tokyo. दो वो
hmm,
कोविड से एक साल डिले हो गया अगर बट सत्विक चिराग का भी वो था कि वी हैव होप्स बट दे आर नॉट द फेवरेट्स so I think Trissa Gayatri Paris maybe is a little too early to expect big things, but qualification
not
yes.
expecting anything in terms of medal or something. Just
uh,
simply saying from the point that they will be a pair to watch out for. Maybe
yes,
some
absolutely.
similar to how Satvik and
Satvik and
Chirag
Chirag,
were
हाँ.
there for Tokyo. Something
Exactly,
similar.
हाँ. मतलब the trajectory is also pretty similar, right? Trissa Gayatri versus Satvik Chirag. Satvik Chirag came and they when they came initially, our doubles was nowhere. But just looking at them based on the eye test, as you say, and looking at some results, they gave hope that we can be world class players. It took them some time. There were a few results. जैसे एक वो Thailand Open जीते थे
Hmm.
500
Yeah, yeah,
at
that
some
was
point.
a great run.
So what Thailand? So they gave flashes, but it took some time, and now they are a truly world class pair. So Trissa Gayatri, I think, are in a similar vein. Okay? They are where Satvik Chirag were in, let's say, 2018 or maybe 2019, somewhere there.
Exactly.
Hmm. So hopefully they can come up, and yeah, it goes well. But yeah, I will still say the post All England results were definitely very disappointing. They raised
Hmm.
hopes, and then it wasn't just the result. It was all. And I didn't see the matches, but it wasn't just the result. It was the score also. Score was also like 21-10, 21-8. पता नहीं क्या था, but
Yeah, yeah,
very one-sided
I was
scores.
there for their Indian Open match that they lost against Chinese,
Hmm,
and I was also very disappointed because the manner in which they lost, it was
hmm,
clear cut that there was a difference in class.
hmm,
That Chinese is a world top 10 team that is there,
hmm.
but that is where I came out disappointing and felt that there's still a long way to go for them.
Exactly.
But then again, All England was totally opposite to
Yeah.
what was Indian
हाँ
Open,
मतलब
right?
ऑल
So
इंग्लैंड में समझ में ही नहीं आया कि व्हाट हैपेंड मतलब दे
mm,
जस्ट एंड अगेन ऑल इंग्लैंड में भी यू कैन से इवेंचुअली द सेमीफाइनल वाज डिसअपॉइंटिंग
it was,
देयर
yes,
वाजंट
yes.
मतलब इट वाजंट क्लोज इट वाज प्रीटी वन साइडेड सो
So why now different matchups against
मैचअप्स हाँ
different style of pairs.
and that is one thing which even improves right once you start playing those pairs regularly you start working on them उनके coaches आके बोलेंगे ये pair ऐसा करता है ये pair ऐसा कर सकता है make this strategy and you start focusing on the top players rather than just showing up and playing to the best of your ability वो थोड़ा change भी होता है right with
Mm,
experience that is something which you really gain with experience so
right, right.
very high ceiling but time कितना लगेगा I think that we'll have to see we are
Yep.
not sure. Hmm.
All right. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Oh,
that's pretty much about
I think
badminton. Anything?
overall बैडमिंटन में वही है अनडाउटेडली वेरी डिसअपॉइंटिंग 3 months few good points जैसे सत्विक चिराग have been there Trista Gayatri went to the semi-finals and ठीक है
Mm,
you can say even Sindhu got to the Swiss Open
yeah,
final ये हाँ Swiss Open final Swiss नहीं sorry Spanish Open final
Spanish Open. Mm.
so yeah few bright spots but yeah badminton needs to pick up
It needs
definitely.
to pick up, but I'll still maintain disappointing, but not too worried about it. It'll be fine. Like by the time Olympic qualification
Hmm.
cycle comes up, we will be just fine.
ठीक है hopefully I'm definitely a little more worried than you that is very clear. आई एम
Yep.
नॉट सो कॉन्फिडेंट कि सब वर्कआउट हो जाएगा बट ठीक है
Yeah.
देखते ओके
All right.
चल यू वांट टू गो
Cool.
टू हॉकी और यू वांट टू फिनिश ऑफ अ कपल ऑफ छोटे मोटे स्पोर्ट पहले
wrestling का you want to talk about anything?
चलो
Not the controversy thing, but ठीक है, that's already been discussed काफी ज़्यादा.
हाँ, बट कंट्रोवर्सी यार वही है रेसलिंग का, तो आई मीन इट्स डिफिकल्ट टू टॉक विदाउट द कंट्रोवर्सी, बट रेसलिंग का यही है यार, वी आर मिसिंग रैंकिंग सीरीज बिकॉज ऑफ कंट्रोवर्सी एंड वी
ठीक है, it's just one ranking
नहीं
series
नहीं,
we
दो
missed out,
दो
right?
वी लॉस्ट, देयर वाज वन इन जागरेब, देयर वाज वन इन इजिप्ट.
Hmm.
So we missed out
Okay.
to. Then I तेरे बात हुई थी. You said that you don't care about it that much, but I was definitely disappointed कि we missed out on hosting the Asian Championship, which to me is a big deal. कि you should not be committing as a country. You should not be committing to host and then failing to host because of these petty problems. But ठीक है. And wrestling में yeah, I'll say that के Asian Championship आ रहा है. Our top wrestlers are not there again, so that's again Asian Championship which is getting missed out. Bajrang, Ravi, Vinesh all are not going. Ravi apparently is injured, but at least Bajrang and Vinesh are not going because of the controversy.
Ravi is injured, and hopefully he comes back by the time World Championship is there.
अच्छा, इतना
But
बड़ा
World
इंजरी है.
Championship तक तो surgery, he underwent surgery, right?
अच्छा, I don't know about that. I just
But
saw.
World Championship तक तो आना ही पड़ेगा. They
हाँ
would
वो
have
तो.
planned it that ways because it's a quota World
या
Championship,
सो
so
वो
for
तो आ ही
sure he
जाएगा,
will be
ठीक
there.
है.
Hmm.
हाँ, बट रेसलिंग या इट इज वेरी डिसअपॉइंटिंग व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. और फिर अभी रिसेंटली वो भी चल रहा था.
Disappointing, and that too when there is no clarity also
हाँ, आज इनफैक्ट वो
what
भी
is
चल
going
रहा
to
था राइट
happen.
कि देयर वाज समथिंग लाइक अंडर 17 वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप इज नाउ again being
Hmm.
kept at the same place where wrestlers were objecting, which is in UP
Yeah,
somewhere, where in Gonda, where again
yeah, yeah, yeah,
the president is the basically the ruler of the place. वो
yeah,
ऐसा चल
yeah.
रहा है, so it's very
Even the elections are going to happen again, so maybe we get some clarity from there what the outcome of those elections are.
हाँ, देखते हैं क्या होता है, बट या रेसलिंग सो फार वेरी डिसअपॉइंटिंग. ऑन द पॉजिटिव
And
साइड
it,
ऑफ.
it is not going to end, so there are rumors that the next president is going to be Brij Bhushan's son only. So
हाँ
essentially same thing, it's just that
हाँ,
different name on paper, but
बट वो सेम ही
obviously
चीज हो
we
जाएगी.
know who's going to rule.
बट या फिर उसमें फिर
So
वही बात है, व्हाट डू द रेसलर्स डू एट दैट पॉइंट.
I think so what do the wrestlers do? By that you mean what do Vinesh,
एंड
Bajrang
बजरंग
and
मेनली.
Sakshi do, right?
हाँ मेनली
Because
या.
mainly इन्हीं तीनों का ही है. So
क्योंकि
yeah,
बचे हुए सब तो आ गए हैं. अंशु हैज स्टार्टेड प्लेइंग बैक एंड
yes,
रवि हैज मेड इट क्लियर कि आई एम नॉट प्लेइंग बिकॉज ऑफ माय इंजरी,
injury, yes,
not
yeah.
because of that. So ठीक है, देखते हैं. But so far yeah, pretty disappointing. On the positive side obviously, Asian Championship starts tomorrow, so looking forward to that at least. ठीक है.
Yeah, lots of new names,
हाँ.
young wrestlers to look forward to.
Yeah, I think biggest name is Anshu there, who is going. There's Deepak also, but Deepak is in 92.
Hmm.
And Anshu is there. And then I will say, I think तूने भी सुना है, there was this podcast of Vinay and John.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, on Pod of the Rings. It
Yeah, yeah,
was a
I've
great
listened. Yeah,
podcast. Yeah. They covered a lot of topics and they covered a lot of new names who had hopes. So if you want a preview podcast for the Asian Wrestling Championship,
absolutely. Yes, you
you
should.
search that
That's
out.
a
Yeah.
must. Yes.
And the one girl I think I remember they were really high on was the, I don't remember name, but the new girl in the 76 kg category
Yeah,
in
yeah,
freestyle.
Priya Malik. I
Priya.
have tweeted about her so many times, and I think we discussed about her in last live also.
Hmm. So yeah, so
My main consideration comes from because like last time also I spoke about it that every weight category there are a couple of medals which are fixed,
hmm,
that there is going to be a Japan
hmm.
medal and there is going to be a another country medal, let's say
China, yeah.
Morales in 57 or a China in
Hmm.
any other, Kyrgyzstan in 62 with
Hmm.
that wrestler.
Tinbekova.
Exactly,
हाँ.
but no such thing in 76 at least as of now.
Hmm.
And let's say so they spoke about Priya, right, that she's a good technical
Hmm.
wrestler, she's a aggressor,
Hmm.
which is a little something
Rare,
not
rare
typical
in
of a
heavy
Indian
category,
wrestler.
in
Yes,
heavyweight categories especially. aggressor मतलब
yes,
लोअर में मिल जाते हैं, heavyweight में नहीं मिलते.
exactly. And
Hmm.
overall it's a cool thing, right? We have never had a heavyweight
Yeah.
female wrestler in our Olympics,
Hmm.
and if she qualifies, which I feel she has good chances,
Hmm.
so it'll be a good thing to have a 19-year-old
Hmm.
debuting in her Olympics, and that too, in 76. So yeah, definitely one to watch out for.
हाँ, रेसलिंग में एक प्रॉब्लम आई थिंक वो है, ठीक है, मे बी नॉट दिस स्ट्रीम टू डिस्कस, बट आई थिंक एशियन गेम्स एंड वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप इज वेरी क्लोज, राइट? वो भी एक प्रॉब्लम है, बट ठीक है।
Hmm.
एंड
So
इट
World
इज,
Championship is first or Asian Games?
देखना पड़ेगा मुझे, लेट मी
Hmm.
जस्ट सी। रेसलिंग वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप्स, एशियन गेम्स तो सितंबर में, राइट? वेट लिफ्टिंग, रोइंग, blah 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 blah,
World
रेसलिंग,
Championship is in August.
it is literally like a couple of weeks before. So
August, right?
नहीं नहीं, wrestling world championships is 16 September
Oh.
and Asian Games is 23 September, but 23 September है, लेकिन wrestling I think will start in like 1st October or 2nd October, something like that.
Hmm.
So it's like literally a couple of weeks there between wrestling world championships and Asian Games. But yeah, I guess the good part is at least the world championships is before. So hopefully they can, and you can't take a quota lightly. Everybody knows nobody's taking a quota lightly,
Yep.
especially in wrestling where the plan is ke, or at least so far they have not made a change ke we'll have trials post quota. Right now the policy, as far as I know, is still ke quota winner goes to Olympics. So you can't take the quota lightly, but ठीक है. It is,
Yeah.
that is a sad part ke, because in normal situation you might have said ke Asian Games ditch कर दो, but again वही बात आ जाती है, too much money involved, nobody is ditching it.
Correct. There's also Anthem.
हाँ.
So, like, sort of, preparing yourself for a post Vinesh era, if it comes to that.
Uh,
So, obviously, one to watch out for.
yeah, she is definitely has potential. इसमें I think एक comment वही, the Pod of the Rings podcast which I heard, विनय एंड जॉन, उसमें आई थिंक विनय का पॉइंट था विच वाज अ वेरी वैलिड पॉइंट, कि पहला जब इनका ट्रायल हुआ विनेश वर्सेस अंतिम, इट वाज लाइक वेरी क्लोज, आई डोंट रिमेंबर फॉर
Very
विच
close.
टूर्नामेंट, बट इट वाज
Yeah,
वेरी
yeah.
क्लोज एंड विनेश लाइक जस्ट अबाउट वन इट इन द एंड, एंड बट जो सेकंड ट्रायल हुआ ना, विनेश डिस्ट्रॉयड हर.
Uh,
तो
I won't say destroyed her. It was.
मतलब दैट्स व्हाट आई हर्ड कि मतलब ठीक है, डोमिनेटेड
Hmm.
हर, डिस्ट्रॉयड हर,
हाँ,
व्हाटएवर
वो
कॉल इट.
यूट्यूब पे वीडियो है, देखा है मैंने. मतलब आई थिंक विनय ने भी ऐसा तो नहीं बोला
नहीं
था कि
डिस्ट्रॉयड नहीं, मतलब ठीक
डिस्ट्रॉय
है, इट्स अ
एक्चुअली.
पैराफ्रेजिंग, मतलब इट्स लाइक इट वाज लाइक वन
हाँ.
साइडेड. Basically, it was one-sided, and Dinesh just kept countering,
हम्म.
continuously kept countering until.
उसका हाँ, उसका रीजन ये भी है दैट अंतिम वाज कमिंग ऑफ जस्ट आफ्टर विनिंग हर वर्ल्ड जूनियर
हाँ
चैंपियनशिप,
ठीक है.
and it was very close for her as well, so you can't read too much into it.
या ठीक है, ये that's a valid point which was not mentioned. बट ठीक है,
Hmm.
देखते हैं. रेसलिंग वही है, मतलब नॉट मच हैज हैपेंड इन 3 months एक्सेप्ट द कंट्रोवर्सी, बट होपफुली वी कैन कम आउट ऑफ इट. जब तक ये आएंगे नहीं
Yep.
तब तक ये, इट विल कीप हैंगिंग, द sword विल कीप हैंगिंग एंड इट नीड्स टू गो सून.
Right.
ठीक है. उसके बाद एथलेटिक्स बोलना है तेरे को जल्दी से थोड़ा बहुत.
यार एथलेटिक्स में ज्यादा कुछ स्टार्ट हुआ ही नहीं है, एक्सेप्ट फॉर लाइक वी हैव हैड अ कपल ऑफ नेशनल रिकॉर्ड्स, वन इन 20 किलोमीटर रेस वॉक.
हम्म.
दैट्स अ बिग डील, एटलीस्ट बिकॉज वहां पे लाइक for a lot of sports you have that barrier, right, which makes you a world class
हम्म.
sports person. So for at least men's 20-kilometer race walking, it's that 120 mark which was breached for the first time by an Indian race walker,
हम्म.
Akshdeep.
हम्म.
So yeah, that is one thing. National record रेस वॉकिंग में पिछले 5-6 सालों में वैसे ही बहुत फ्रीक्वेंट बेसिस पे वी हैव बेटर्ड. सो दैट्स वन थिंग फॉर श्योर. विमेन में भी रेस वॉकिंग में आई थिंक आज ही की अनाउंसमेंट है दैट दे हैव कम अप विद अ न्यू फॉर्मेट. डिड यू गेट अ चांस टू सी दैट?
I think it was a mixed format, no, not women
Yeah,
format.
yeah, mixed.
Uh,
So we the point is we have good race walkers in both men and
yeah.
women.
Hmm.
And if you see other countries, there are not many countries
Okay, that
where
I don't know.
both the countries dominate.
Hmm.
But again, the downside to it is we have Japan and China,
चाइना,
which are
हाँ.
like the best in both.
हाँ, मेरा भी वही आ रहा था कि जापान
So वो
चाइना
दो
के मैच
मेडल तो
देखे हैं सबसे ज्यादा.
right.
वो क्यों
And
ज्यादा ही बढ़ा लो ना, मतलब सिर्फ ऐसा कुछ रूल है कि ओनली वन टीम और समथिंग.
that clarity is still not there. Ki
ओके.
if there is going to be a one team per country or there could be two teams per country or
हम्म.
whatever.
और यूरोपियन में भी
Yeah,
थोड़े बहुत तो होंगे, आई थिंक जर्मनी वर्मनी और समथिंग, आई डोंट नो, पता नहीं.
यूरोप में इतना नहीं है. स्पेन, पोर्चुगल आर लाइक टीम्स वी कैन लुक फॉरवर्ड टू फॉर रेस वॉकिंग.
हम्म.
फिर ब्राजील, इक्वाडोर, कोलंबिया, ये सब भी ठीक ठाक. पेरू,
हम्म.
लाइक पेरू की जो रेस वॉकर है, शी इज अ वर्ल्ड चैंपियन इन बोथ 20 and 35
ओके.
फ्रॉम यूजीन. सो वो सब है. बट या पॉइंट इज कि डेफिनेटली in the overall scheme of track and field, race walking is something also to be looked forward to.
Hmm.
लॉन्ग जंप में ठीक है, सभी ने देखा, वी हैड अ नेशनल रिकॉर्ड.
Hmm.
Jaswin Aldrin
Yeah.
started with a bang. Still waiting for Sri Shankar to come
Start the
in and
season, so to speak.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So I think wo, like there is a Grand Prix scheduled a few days down the line. So he's entered there.
Hmm.
So probably we'll get a glimpse of his performance.
Hmm.
Thoda sa. But yeah, it's a good story brewing up for both of them, Jaswin and Sri Shankar.
Hmm.
It's always been the case. Domestic competition अच्छा है, so it
Hmm.
naturally translates to a
To
better
better scores.
better performance at world level.
Hmm.
So वो चीज़ है. Long jump definitely, any one particular event that is to be look forward to after of course javelin.
Hmm.
Javelin का भी देखना है अभी तो.
स्टार्ट ही होना
नीरज and
बाकी है,
beyond
हाँ.
नीरज. हाँ. So Neeraj ka, but beyond Neeraj also there is a whole bunch of javelin
Hmm.
throwers coming up, 80 and above.
Yeah, it's the
So
test, right? कि मतलब there was a lot of talk कि टोक्यो के बाद now javelin will get a boost because of Neeraj's gold. So this is sort of
mm,
the test कि at least a short term test
yeah,
कि
yeah, yeah,
how much has that impacted.
yes, that's what. No, like we have 4 5 javelin throwers who are in and around 80,
Hmm.
and does anyone from that bunch shoots up
तो like
like
80,
Neeraj did?
85, 87 पे,
Uh,
हाँ.
85 without any unconventional means, जैसे ही शिवपाल सिंह ने किया and then he got in doping.
Hmm.
तो obviously 85 is the benchmark, एक तरह से, if
Hmm.
someone can breach that. So वो है. बाकी
Tejaswin?
yes, हाँ, I'll come to Tejaswin as well, but yeah, javelin, long jump, and obviously the third main event for us is steeplechase. So
Hmm.
again, that is where we don't know when Sable is going to start the season.
Hmm.
But yes, he ended on a good note, Commonwealth Games.
Hmm.
So still need to see if he can still improve on that 8-11 mark.
Hmm.
हर साल तो इम्प्रूव करता ही आ रहा है. 8-11 से भी इम्प्रूव करता है
तब है ना कुछ
तो.
becomes
By the way,
he
Asian
starts
Games
becoming
will
serious.
be.
Hmm.
Yes, Asian Games will be a good watch. Huh? They
Yeah.
do have a Japanese
Hmm.
who was in the final of Tokyo steeplechase,
Okay.
and he was 19 when he participated in that Tokyo final,
Hmm.
and उसका जो qualification था, that was a national record for Japan, and he did it in some 8 9 10 or 9-11 only, somewhat similar level to what Sable is right now.
Hmm.
So it'll be a good head to head between both of them for
Hmm.
Asian Games as well.
Yeah, I think athletics, except for the Diamond League where we might have a few participations, but I think uske alawa it will come to a head sort of in Asian Games only, right?
Oh yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
hmm.
Athletics is going to be a star. Is going to be the star event for Asian Games.
हाँ, एशियन गेम्स
एक
में तो
तो
हमेशा
level
ही
कम
होता
होता
है.
है. हमारा level
Hmm.
over the previous Asian Games has
Increased
increased.
a lot, yeah.
हाँ, quite a lot in across the events.
Hmm.
So yeah, TJ का भी obviously, तेजस्विन का भी till the Asian Games level it'll be interesting to see. मैं थोड़ा सा देख रहा था पिछले medals किस level पे आते हैं Asian Games में decathlon में.
Hmm.
So it's usually between 7600 to 8000 only.
Yeah.
So that's the medal range. So he can definitely win a medal for you.
Hmm.
Just that he still has to improve on a few events, specifically pole vault.
बट तेजस्विन का तो आई थिंक एशियन गेम्स में वो भी थोड़ा इशू हो जाता है हमेशा कि द सीजन इज डिफरेंट, राइट? सो ही इज द वन हु इज ऑलरेडी कंपीटिंग इन द यूएस बिकॉज यूएस का सीजन चालू हो गया है. एंड देन बाय द टाइम यू कम टू सितंबर द सीजन इज ऑलरेडी ओवर फॉर द कपल ऑफ मंथ्स. एंड सो उसका एशियन गेम्स के साथ हमेशा वही होता है, उसका शेड्यूलिंग बैठता नहीं है. इट्स लाइक ही इज नॉट एट पीक इन द एशियन गेम्स. मे बी दिस टाइम इज डिफरेंट, होपफुली.
Yeah, I think it'll be different for him because he's not 100% pro athlete for one.
एग्जैक्टली, हाँ. सो
So he is maybe managing his entire schedule that ways that how can he switch between jobs and track.
Hmm.
and then obviously peaking towards Asian Games.
Yeah, but that's what I have my doubts, because is he looking also to peak towards Asian Games? Because
Of course, yes.
in the past he hasn't. Maybe he is now, but
In
in
the
the
past,
past
he
he
hasn't,
hasn't.
because okay, last Asian Games I don't have a memory right now what
Hmm.
happened there with high jump. But abhi to interviews mein he's spoken a couple of times, and that's the reason he's
Acha.
still very active in decathlon circuit, right?
Okay, so he's spoken. He's looking towards the Asian Games.
Yes, he is. He is.
Okay, so that's a
He's
good thing. And any
yes.
idea कि he'll do both के just decathlon?
He might do both. Yes. Why
Okay.
not? Like if the opportunity is there, high
Hmm.
jump का level इतना Asian Games में है भी नहीं.
Hmm.
ठीक है, that's a different thing. If Barshim shows up, the Korean shows up, तो वो 2 मेडल तो
नहीं
वहीं
नहीं
चले गए.
नहीं नहीं, बट उससे ज्यादा डेकाथलन में तो फटीग एस्पेक्ट भी आ जाता है, राइट? डेकाथलन इज ऑलवेज रनिंग. आई मीन,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
हाँ, सो इट
हाँ,
देयर इज अ
kind
गुड,
of depends on the schedule
हाँ,
also.
कि देयर इज अ गुड चांस कि क्लैश होगा ही, राइट? बिकॉज इट्स अ
Mm,
2 डे इवेंट. सो
yes, yes.
देखते हैं.
So yeah,
हाँ,
matlab that's only at that level that okay, there is a Indian decathlete going to participate in Asian Games
दैट
and
इटसेल्फ
has a
इज.
possibility of a medal. That itself is a good story.
अंकुश का भी पॉइंट वैलिड है चैट में. एएफआई बिना कंट्रोवर्सी के पिक करेगा क्या उसको? हमेशा ही
हाँ.
लगता है टीजे का कुछ कंट्रोवर्सी हो जाता है.
हम्म.
बट ठीक है,
हाँ,
एथलेटिक्स
तो ठीक
देखते
है
हैं.
ना, अब तो पिछले कोर्ट की रूलिंग
हाँ, दे शुड
वैलिड है
नॉट.
तो.
एंड ही इज आल्सो मोर ऑफ अ नेम नाउ. They should
हम्म.
probably not challenge him now,
या
because पहले नहीं था. He's got a more of a name as well.
TJ का one thing is like this morning only I was checking. Actually the thing is उसका pole vault काफी बेकार है, right?
Right.
And that's a big negative differential for him. जहाँ पे वो 200-300 points easily कर सकता है. The reason for that is conventionally होता क्या है? All your decathletes में all your good high jumpers are also good pole vaulters.
Hmm.
वैसा चलता है. ठीक है,
उसका
मोस्टली अगर आप देखोगे तो देर इज समथिंग नॉट basically clicking for him in terms of technique, या he started off
late.
very late in terms of learning pole vault या क्या. But if that is where he can plug in and basic level पे भी आ जाएगा ना, वर्ल्ड लेवल पे,
Hmm.
मतलब 800 पॉइंट्स तक के लेवल पे भी आ जाता है. सो आज कितना 500 पॉइंट्स था उसका, आज या कल.
Hmm.
सो 500 से 800.
There's a huge jump, yeah.
हाँ, 300 जंप तो यहीं से ही हो गया ना.
But I think ठीक है. I think उतना jump is a little wishful thinking. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But हाँ, उसका
I'm
उसका
just
ये.
wondering why it is not
नहीं,
clicking.
उसका मैंने पढ़ा भी था कहीं पे, सॉर्ट ऑफ हाफ जोकिंगली के. ही वाज सेइंग कि there's a joke going
Yeah,
around his university. He can probably do high
yeah.
jump higher than pole vault. So
Yeah, yeah.
हाँ, तो ठीक है. मतलब इट्स नॉट लाइक के, इट फेल्ट लाइक इट्स नॉट के ही इज नॉट ट्राइड. वो नहीं हो रहा है. इट्स नॉट के इज जस्ट
हम्म. हाँ,
इनक्रेडिबली न्यू
वही.
और अभी तक हो नहीं पाया है. मे बी आना हो जाएगा. बट इट्स
हम्म.
लाइक ही हैज ट्राइड, एंड फॉर वट एवर रीजन maybe he's not getting the technique, or maybe he's using high jump techniques in pole vault क्योंकि body has been muscle memory high jump के हिसाब से हो गई, and there are similar events. So you don't
Yeah,
know, you're just guessing, but for whatever reason it's not worked so far for him.
yeah, yeah. But that's a clear pattern. Good high jumpers are good pole vaulters also.
और आई थिंक एक दो इवेंट और भी वीक थे जो मैंने, आई थिंक पृथ्वी का ट्वीट पढ़ा था. एक जैवलिन था वेर ही कैन
हम्म.
इम्प्रूव. एंड आई डोंट रिमेम्बर द
हाँ.
लास्ट वन. आई थिंक एक इवेंट और था वेरी सही
थ्रोज
है.
थ्रोज इन जनरल आर वीक ओनली, राइट? शॉर्ट पुट, डिस्कस, जावलिन तीनों ही वीक हैं.
ओके.
बट वो थोड़ा सा रहता है बिकॉज
हाँ,
इधर.
वो ठीक है. यू आर द नेचुरल जंपर और द नेचुरल थ्रोअर,
या
दैट्स ओके.
नेचुरल स्प्रिंटर, नेचुरल थ्रोअर और नेचुरल जंपर, तो वो एक किसी कैटेगरी के तो तुम
बन
डेकाथलीट
ही
होते ही.
जाते ही हो. ठीक है. ओके, चलो तो एथलेटिक्स देखते हैं. मेनली इंडिया में तो एशियन गेम्स पे ही हेड आएगा. एंड देन एशियन
हम्म.
गेम्स के बाद देयर बी अ लॉट ऑफ टॉक, क्योंकि एशियन गेम्स में वी विल गेट अ लॉट ऑफ मेडल्स. एंड देन देयर विल बी अ लॉट ऑफ टॉक आफ्टर एशियन गेम्स.
या
बट वील सी
या
व्हाट हैपेंस देयर.
हाँ, बिफोर एशियन गेम्स वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप इज ऑल्सो देयर. तो वहाँ पे अगेन सेम 3-4 स्टोरी लाइन्स मेनली: जैवलिन, लॉन्ग जंप, रेस वॉक, स्टीपल चेज. इन्हीं
रेस
चारों
वॉक
में
का
देखना
रेस
पड़ेगा.
वॉक का भी है क्या? रेस वॉक का तो हो गया ना?
रेस वॉक वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में तो होता ही है ना.
आई थिंक फील्ड और रेस वॉक का अलग नहीं होता. आई डोंट नो.
नहीं, 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 नहीं. मतलब वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप इज अ वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप,
ठीक है.
सारे इवेंट्स होते हैं उसमें तो.
ठीक है. ओके. नहीं, आई थॉट वो
हम्म.
रोड और ट्रैक का, मतलब ट्रैक एंड फील्ड एंड रोड का अलग होता है. बट ओके. नॉट,
नहीं,
बट हाँ,
नहीं,
मैराथन तो
इट्स अ
होता ही है.
पार्ट. हाँ,
हाँ.
मैराथन भी होता है, राइट?
ठीक है. वट एवर, वील सी.
ट्रिपल जंप का एक थोड़ा सा है, मतलब वी
दे आर
डिड
लाइक,
ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ क्लीन स्वीप इन ट्रिपल जंप. ऑलमोस्ट या किया था कॉमनवेल्थ में.
ट्रिपल जंपर्स बेसिकली नीड
क्लीन
नहीं
स्वीप
नहीं
था
नहीं
ना मेडल.
नहीं नहीं, आई थिंक 1 to 4 था.
1 to 4 था. यस
हम्म,
यस.
हम्म,
हाँ. तो वहां पे थोड़ा सा अभी भी पीछे ही हैं हम वर्ल्ड क्लास लेवल से.
हम्म.
वी स्टिल
It's
यू नो
like
ऑन
a
अ रेगुलर बेसिस.
it's like a best of the rest kind of scenario. You are like in the 15 to 25 range rather than the top 15 range, or let's say 11 to 25 in that range. देखते हैं.
यप.
ठीक है. So that's athletics. और quickly, I think on table tennis. I mean, I just have to report. Okay, I had gone to Goa to see the table tennis star contender. It just happened. कि, we were going to Goa and the tournament happened to be at that time. It wasn't like planned or anything. So we went. We saw Manika Batla. It was a nice experience. Surprisingly, a lot of people watching table tennis, even in a 1,000 rupee ticket. मतलब मैं 1,000 रुपये की VIP टिकट खरीद के गया था फिर भी सीट नहीं मिल रही थी. So that was the good part. And yeah, people were enjoying. Performance wise, nothing much to speak about. Middling performances ही हैं. Doubles में थोड़ा बहुत किया है but ठीक है. Doubles is always a little bit question mark. You don't know जब actual pressure आता है, जब actual top players start competing together, and what happens then. Or anyways, doubles is mixed doubles is there, but women's and men's doubles are not even direct events at the Olympics. तो वो भी
Still
factor
still
आएगा.
good team, no? Both Manika and Satyan.
Yeah, they are a good team. I still don't have medal hopes if you're asking that, but मतलब I do think कि उनकी जो world rankings आती है world number 4 and world number 6 and all, I think that's inflated. I don't know why
Hmm.
exactly, but I don't think they are that good. Just personal opinion.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
देखते हैं.
But and when is the Olympic qualification starting?
Olympic qualification though is very complicated in table tennis because there's rankings, there are spots as well. It will primarily come down to ranking and
Hmm.
इनफैक्ट टीम का भी इस बार उन्होंने रैंकिंग कर दिया था कि टीम में भी देयर वाज वन स्पॉट बेस्ड ऑन रैंकिंग. तो देयर इजंट कोटा इवेंट तो 24 में ही होगा द फाइनल कोटा इवेंट्स. उसके पहले रैंकिंग्स के बेस पे होगा. एंड ठीक है, रैंकिंग्स वाइज आई थिंक वी शुड मेक 2+2
Hmm.
एटलीस्ट एंड देन टीम इज अ क्वेश्चन मार्क.
Team is a question mark. Last time also we reached very close and couldn't qualify.
Exactly. And mixed team will come close. जैसे वही last time it came down to one India versus Korea match, right?
Hmm.
So mixed team, I think it will be similar only.
And it's only 16 teams in mixed doubles, right? That
Yeah,
are going to be
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe the because of the ranking aspect, maybe men's team event के लिए has a better chance because you don't have to go through a one tournament and
Hmm.
ranking wise, hopefully they should be able to make it.
Okay. Okay.
देखते हैं
Interesting.
देखते हैं बट यार इवन मैंने ठीक से देखा नहीं है. बट इट्स डेफिनेटली नॉट लाइक वन टूर्नामेंट, वो चलेगा. एंड
Hmm.
वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप देखा था मैंने, अभी भी कहीं देखा वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप समवेयर वही अगस्त सितंबर टाइप्स की तरह. रुक मैं सामने देख रहा हूँ.
Yeah.
देयर इज एन एशियन चैंपियनशिप इन सितंबर एंड कहाँ है अभी, मिल नहीं रहा अभी. एशियन चैंप सितंबर में दिख रहा है. वेट इज देयर अ सर्च हियर. ठीक है ठीक है, एज ऑफ नाउ मिल नहीं रहा मुझे बट या इट विल कम.
Okay.
ठीक है.
Also, outside,
हाँ
do you
अच्छा
have
ओके आई गॉट
anything
इट.
else to share?
टेबल टेनिस वर्ल्ड चैंप्स इज इन मे एक्चुअली.
Hmm. Okay.
ठीक है. उसके
So yeah,
अलावा
we'll uh, have some developments there in World Championship.
या
वहाँ से थोड़ा सा indicative पता चलेगा.
और रैंकिंग पे भी बहुत इम्पैक्ट आता है. सो दैट इज आल्सो देयर.
Yep.
उसके अलावा यार ठीक है, वी हैव वन मेजर हॉकी to discuss. उसके अलावा obviously in
Yeah.
the last 3 months a lot of cricket and chess has happened. Vaibhav doesn't like it much when I discuss. तूने कुछ नहीं देखा ना क्रिकेट में?
मतलब I was hardly able to follow जो regular sports में follow करता हूँ. चेस और क्रिकेट तो कहाँ ही देखूंगा.
नहीं तो मतलब वुमेन्स वर्ल्ड कप भी नहीं देखा क्रिकेट में?
No, not really.
हाँ तो ठीक है यार. क्रिकेट ऑब्वियसली वुमेन साइड देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ डेवलपमेंट्स. द वर्ल्ड कप इट वाज अगेन सेम हार्ट ब्रेक थिंग. वेंट अलोंग एक्सपेक्टेड लाइंस, फिर लगा ऑस्ट्रेलिया से हार जाएंगे, देन सडनली वी हैड देम ऑन द मैट एंड देन वी कोलैप्स्ड अगेन. So same story. Obviously WPL came through, which is fine. A lot of people were very happy. I did go to watch a match of WPL, and it was a lot of fun. Um, tickets were basically free, essentially, like 100 रुपए की टिकट थी. So we went and we had a lot of fun. मजा आया. Tournament wise, एक problem वही था कि it was like, lot of the matches, at least to me, felt like they were like the four foreigners versus the four foreigners. So from that perspective, I was a little disappointed. And a lot of teams, they had like a couple of Indian players who were there just for the fielding. ना बैटिंग करने ना bowling करने. तो
Hmm.
ठीक है. But yeah, women's cricket is coming along well. That is the good
सौरभ
thing.
इज सिंह हरमनप्रीत का बैट स्टक ना होता तो हम वर्ल्ड चैंपियंस होते इस टाइम.
वर्ल्ड चैंपियंस होते तो यार फाइनल अभी भी बाकी था. बट ठीक है. बट हाँ, इट इज राइट, तुझे मालूम नहीं है. बट मतलब ऑस्ट्रेलिया, ऑस्ट्रेलियन, आई डोंट नो कैप्टन थी या कौन थी, लैनिंग थी या हीली थी, आई डोंट नो, बट सम ऑस्ट्रेलियन प्लेयर गेव अ कमेंट कि वी हैड गिवन
या
अप.
या
कि वी हैड
कमेंट
गिवन
क्या
अप.
फुल ब्लोन इंटरव्यू था.
हाँ नहीं, तो इंटरव्यू में दे गेव अ कमेंट कि वी हैड गिवन अप. मतलब और समथिंग ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट, आई एम पैराफ्रेजिंग अ लिटिल बिट. बट दे हैड सेड कि वी हैड थॉट द मैच इज ओवर. वी वर, मतलब ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाले ऐसे बोलते नहीं है कि वी हैड थॉट द मैच इज ओवर एंड देन इंडिया कोलैप्स्ड. आई रिमेंबर वॉचिंग द मैच इटसेल्फ कि मुझे हमेशा कोलैप्स का डर लगता है वुमेन्स क्रिकेट में. It is similar to an experience of watching men's cricket in the 90s. So I wasn't as shocked as a lot of other people कि एक हाथ से collapse हो गया, because I was at least half expecting it, if not fully. But ठीक है, hopefully the WPL has come and you'll see improvement in skills. Fielding has definitely improved. So women's cricket going on the right path. मेंस क्रिकेट तो ठीक है, चल ही रहा है. ऑस्ट्रेलिया को पहले 2 मैच में हराया है, फिर थोड़ा टर्नओवर हुआ. चलता ही रहता है, नथिंग. तू वर्ल्ड कप देखने वाला है कि तू कुछ नहीं देखने वाला है? इंडिया में भी वर्ल्ड कप तू नहीं देखने वाला है? ओडीआई
हाँ
वर्ल्ड
मतलब
कप.
मैं नहीं नहीं आई एम इन फैक्ट प्लानिंग टू टेक माय फादर टू अ आईपीएल मैच आल्सो 6th ऑफ मई को है यहाँ पे आरसीबी के अगेंस्ट दिल्ली कैपिटल.
ओके, किसको सपोर्ट
तो
करता है?
आई किसी को भी नहीं यार ऐसे ही
नहीं बिकॉज
एंटरटेनमेंट.
नहीं बिकॉज आई थिंक सपोर्ट फिर भी आरसीबी का ही होगा ज़्यादा. आरसीबी हैज बिल्ड दैट फॉलोइंग.
नॉट नो प्रेफरेंस एज सच
नहीं,
मतलब
नॉट
विल
फॉर यू.
जस्ट गो एंड.
नहीं नहीं, नॉट
हाँ
फॉर यू.
वैसे ही
हाँ हाँ, आई एम सेइंग स्टेडियम में सपोर्ट आरसीबी का ही ज़्यादा होगा, इवन दो द मैच इज इन
नहीं
दिल्ली.
नहीं नहीं आई आई डोंट थिंक दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द केस. दिल्ली के जितने भी मैंने यहाँ आईपीएल के मैचेस देखे हैं लाइक द सपोर्ट हैज बीन रियली गुड.
आरसीबी के अगेंस्ट देखा है?
हाँ आरसीबी के अगेंस्ट भी देखा है.
देखा है तो ठीक है, ओके.
बिकॉज ऑफ द कोहली फैक्टर यू सेइंग
नहीं
राइट.
नहीं, देर आर लॉट ऑफ फैक्टर्स. मतलब एक तो कोहली फैक्टर है, दैट इज ओके. बट देर आर ऑल्सो, जैसे वही एबीडी का भी फैक्टर है. मतलब द हिस्ट्री, दे हैड प्लेयर्स हु यू लाइक चीयरिंग फॉर, लाइक देयर वाज कोहली, देयर वाज एबीडी, देयर वाज गेल. देर आर दीज प्लेयर्स हु आर सो कूल
नहीं
एंड
तो उस टाइम पे द मैच आई रिमेम्बर द मैच व्हिच आई वॉच्ड द्रविड यूज्ड टू बी इन
नहीं,
आरसीबी
वो तो
एट सम
बहुत
पॉइंट.
अच्छा. वो ओके, देन यू आर टॉकिंग वेरी ओल्ड.
हाँ आई थिंक इट वाज द वेरी फर्स्ट आईपीएल ओनली.
हाँ नहीं नहीं, ओके, दैट इज अ डिफरेंट सिचुएशन. देन तब तो दिल्ली का ही सपोर्ट होगा. बट ये आरसीबी, चेन्नई एंड मुंबई, दोज आर लाइक द थ्री हेवीएस्ट सपोर्टेड टीम्स इन द आईपीएल. एंड आरसीबी का एक जो बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर है इज द सोशल मीडिया फैक्टर. उनका सोशल मीडिया इज लाइक रियली वेरी
या
एक्टिव.
या
तो उससे भी हो जाता है.
अच्छा ठीक है वी
आई
विल
थिंक
टॉक अबाउट क्रिकेट व्हेन क्रिकेट मेक्स टू द ओलंपिक्स
विच इज नॉट दैट फार अवे. ठीक है.
व्हिच इज नॉट दैट फार अवे.
हाँ.
ओके
And
बट
lastly,
या
okay, lastly, just a quick mention about chess. Honestly, the last 3 months were a little disappointing, except Gukesh. बट ठीक है, उसके आगे अब वैभव को जाना है तो मेरे को मार डालेगा. तो इसलिए बट ठीक है, वॉच चेस आज भी बाय द वे चल रहा था. मेरे को ये स्ट्रीम के बाद हमको ना वॉच अ रिप्ले ऑफ द आर्मेगेडन
एंड
सीरीज बाय द
you
वे,
know
जस्ट सो यू
I
नो.
would strongly suggest that you should do a live stream sometime. I'm sure you would have many takers. इतना चेस तू देखता है do it like give your perspectives on chess right.
चेस पे
Why not.
देर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु ऑलरेडी गिव पर्सपेक्टिव्स ऑन चेस.
Ah okay.
मतलब
Okay
वो
I didn't know that.
चेस बेस इंडिया है, उसके आगे कुछ जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. बट ठीक है, आई कैन,
Hmm.
ऐसा नहीं है. चेस बेस इंडिया इज मे बी,
हाँ
एक चेस बेस इंडिया का वही है कि इट्स अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ अ वेरी, लेट्स से, ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव काइंड ऑफ थिंग. दे नेवर स्पीक नेगेटिव. तो इट इज दैट इम्प्रेशन. बट ठीक है. बट या
okay.
चेस में 3 months का टेक अवे वॉज बेसिकली गुकेश के. गुकेश इज सॉर्ट ऑफ स्टार्टिंग टू कम अप अहेड ऑफ द अदर्स. एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली अर्जुन वॉज स्ट्रगलिंग. So yeah, Web of Sony जैसा बोल रहा है, Armageddon is currently live, Gukesh versus Kramnik. एंड मुझे स्ट्रीम के बाद देखना है वो रिपीट पे पीछे से. तो ठीक है, दैट इज चेस.
ठीक है
जल्दी से मैंने खत्म
ठीक
कर
है
दिया.
let's
हॉकी पे आ
let's
जा
talk
चल.
about hockey हाँ
हॉकी
and
आके
finish
खत्म
it off
करते हैं.
then. Hmm.
बोलो
ठीक है you wanna go first.
या सो हॉकी, honestly, 3 months wise, it was a little bit of a mixed bag, but obviously much more disappointing. The World Cup basically went as bad as it could have. Honestly, I don't think it could have gone worse because ठीक है
Okay,
जो
so one disclaimer here: the World Cup was that bad that couple with his entire family went to watch World Cup. He was traveling, like he had to travel somewhere first before moving on to Bhubaneswar, and he did not. He had the tickets as well, right, Kapil?
match
And he
tickets,
just
yes.
came. He came back without even going to Bhubaneswar, and straight away back to Bombay from where? Kolkata or what?
Yeah, from Kolkata. So basically, yeah, the plan was, so first of all, the World Cup plan was made pretty much as soon as India won the bronze in the Olympics. So जैसे इंडिया ब्रॉन्ज जीता एंड ओके उसके बाद एट सम पॉइंट आई वुड हैव फाउंड आउट कि 2023 में भुवनेश्वर में वर्ल्ड कप है. सो द मोमेंट आई फाउंड आउट कि वर्ल्ड कप है एंड वी हैड ऑलरेडी वन द ब्रॉन्ज आई एम लाइक वी आर गोइंग फॉर दिस इज ईयर मार्क्ड. सो इट्स लाइक एक साल पहले से इट वाज ईयर मार्क्ड फॉर अस कि ये जाना है because it was perfect in the sense ke Bhubaneswar and surrounding areas we haven't been to as just as a tourist. So the point
Yeah,
is
but
hum log
still, you could have gone just for Hockey World Cup experience and how the
हाँ
city totally transforms
yeah
into
yeah
a
so
hockey
exactly
city, and
so exactly
it's like a extravaganza happening
so
there.
exactly so that's what I'm saying, right? All that played into the played its part because the previous World Cup hua tha Odisha mein, I had heard all those stories, how the city transformed and how everything is hockey and it's a festival of hockey. So that itself was an attraction. And on top of that, then it's like okay, aju baju ka tourist areas bhi we haven't covered, so we can cover. So it's like January 2023 की ट्रिप पहले से यरमार्क थी कि वर्ल्ड कप तो जाना ही है. भुवनेश्वर घूमेंगे, भुवनेश्वर के बाजू में पुरी है, पुरी घुमाएंगे एंड देन लेट्स सी उसके अलावा क्या कर सकते हैं. सो कैन वी गो टू कोलकाता, कैन वी गो टू नॉर्थ ईस्ट, कैन वी गो टू सुंदरबंस. So those were the discussions. Eventually, we ended up like we went to Sundarbans first, then we went to Kolkata, and then we were going to go to Bhubaneswar. I had tickets for the quarter final, semi final, final. तीनों की टिकट मैंने खरीद के रखी थी. टिकट्स में $500. So टिकट खरीद के रखने में कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. बट मेरी बहन जो चैट में बैठी है मॉडरेटर बन के, कविता चौधरी, उसने पहले से ही बोल दिया था. शी हैज गॉट टू दैट पॉइंट के भरोसा नहीं है पहुंचेगा नहीं पहुंचेगा. आई एम लाइक यार क्वार्टर फाइनल तो पहुंच ही जाएगा, क्या नहीं पहुंचेगा. तो शी लाइक भरोसा नहीं है पहुंचेगा कि नहीं पहुंचेगा. एंड शी वाज लाइक कि मैं कोलकाता टू भुवनेश्वर की टिकट तभी खरीदूंगी जब वो पहुंच जाएगा, नहीं पहुंचे तो अपन बॉम्बे आ रहे हैं. तो वो इट्स लाइक पहले से ही करके गई थी कि नहीं पहुंचे तो बॉम्बे आ रहे हैं, नहीं पहुंचे तो बॉम्बे आ रहे हैं. एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स यू हैड दैट मैच अगेंस्ट न्यूजीलैंड. वी वर लीडिंग 3-1 एंड देन कहाँ से
Yeah,
3-3 हुआ एंड
it
देन
was
दैट
bad.
marathon shootout which we ended up losing. But yeah, the World Cup was basically as bad as it could go, right? ठीक है,
Yeah,
बोल सकते हो कि मे बी इंग्लैंड से भी और हार जाते, बट उसके अलावा इट वाज प्रीटी मच बैड.
but
एंड
what might have translated for
I thought we were
such a bad
overconfident.
person
I thought we were overconfident.
or under pressure?
नहीं, I think we were overconfident, not
Like,
under pressure.
why I'm saying under pressure is because essentially for Harmanpreet, right?
Hmm.
Like he was the captain,
Hmm.
and you see the performance he had in World Cup and performance he had immediately after the World Cup in those
Hmm.
Pro League matches
Hmm.
which have recently finished.
Hmm.
So there's a stark difference, right?
Yeah, but
And there were so many theories floating around ki there has been a change in his
captaincy.
penalty corner. No,
अच्छा.
the technique with which he's
Hmm.
taking the penalty corners
Hmm.
uski wajah se hai, and coach is to blame for that and all of those things. But I think wo uski khud ki body language dekh ke you always felt that he's feeling a little overwhelmed with such a big responsibility on his shoulders. And uh, दूसरा मेजर फैक्टर ये भी था ना कि like Hardik also got injured, right?
Yeah.
But then that should not be an excuse, because as a team, if you're going for a medal or a as a top 4 5 team,
Hmm.
your dependency should not be there on just one particular player. You
नहीं,
should always have
तो
contingency.
I think हरमनप्रीत के साथ a lot of things happened. First of all, तो I don't think he was able to handle the captaincy pressure.
वही.
So हाँ, हरमनप्रीत के साथ I agree. The pressure definitely played a huge role. Just on him, I don't think he
But
could
then
handle the
if
captaincy. But दूसरा जो big factor था was also the team selection. So
hmm,
because you didn't have a second scary drag flicker. जैसे अभी
hmm,
अभी they got जुगराज in
Yuvraj
the
wasn't there.
हाँ, so they got. और मेरी समझ में उससे बहुत फर्क पड़ता है बिकॉज द डिफेंस न्यू के ओके हरमनप्रीत को ही टारगेट करना है, दे विल गो विथ हरमनप्रीत ओनली. nobody else is taking the PCs. And I think एक थोड़ा बहुत वो भी factor हुआ, you get into that line somewhere because he was the captain, he is now deciding who's taking the PCs on the field. So he was struggling, but he kept taking them. There were
Hmm.
others like जैसे अमित रोहिदास को चांस दे सकते थे. I think there was वरुण था, I'm not too sure वरुण था कि नहीं था, but you can give others a go, right?
And we
But
are
he
not
kept
known
taking
for
them.
a lot of field goals. Majority of our goals come from PCs.
Hmm.
And let's say when you see your main PC taker is also
Right.
only not performing, that pressure trickle downs to the
To
entire
the rest
squad.
of the team, yeah.
Hmm.
But still I think it wasn't just because अब वही बात है ना, न्यूजीलैंड के सामने तुम देखो, we were 3-1 up. 3-1 up से फिर 3-3 होके losing in the shootout.
Hmm.
You can't, ठीक है, shootout you can still maybe blame on the pressure, but 3-1 to 3-3 you can't blame on the pressure, right? वो उधर ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस आया.
Hmm.
And it wasn't just that. इंग्लैंड के बाद एक कौन सा एक मैच था, आई थिंक against a very weak team where we needed to win by about 11 or 12 goals in order
Spain,
to.
I think.
नहीं नहीं,
No,
स्पेन
no.
नहीं, कोई एक वीक
Spain,
टीम
we
थी.
were comfortable.
हाँ, एक
Ha
वीक
ha
टीम थी.
ha. Yes.
आयरलैंड, कौन थी आयरलैंड
I
थी? आई डोंट
yes.
रिमेंबर. वन वीक
Mm-hmm.
टीम, सम आयरलैंड और
Yeah, yeah,
समबडी.
yeah.
के
Mm.
हाँ, उसके इवन इन दैट मैच वी वर स्ट्रगलिंग. मतलब उस मैच में तो वी शुड नॉट बी स्ट्रगलिंग. वी वन बाय लाइक अ
Mm.
कपल
We
ऑफ
were.
2-3 गोल्स, बट इट उसी मैच में कुछ गड़बड़ लग रहा था कि यहाँ क्या हो रहा है.
Yeah.
एंड वी वर
That was just before New Zealand match, right?
right. That was the last group
Mm.
match, and it was a match where we needed to win by like whatever 7-8 goals or huge margin to get a direct entry into the quarterfinals.
Mm.
And we didn't even come close to it. So, but ठीक है. The I guess the positive part अब मतलब मुझे थोड़ा बहुत यही लगा कि what happened was Olympic के बाद there was a huge high, and we did decently in the other tournaments
Pro
after
League.
Olympics as well.
I mean, we finished third in Pro League, yeah, which
Yeah.
happened after Olympics only.
But Pro League का majority part I think happened after, before the Olympics also, right? I'm not वो
Mm,
distributed था.
but there were quite a few matches that
हाँ,
we
थोड़े
won after
थोड़े बहुत
Olympics.
मैचेस आफ्टर भी हुए,
Mm.
बट वो और वो प्रो लीग का फिर थोड़ा वो भी था यार. वी फिनिश थर्ड, लेकिन इट वाज अ कोरोना अफेक्टेड प्रो लीग, लॉट ऑफ मैचेस गॉट कैंसिल्ड. ऑस्ट्रेलिया
Yeah.
न्यूजीलैंड पुल्ड आउट, सो वो भी हो
Mm.
जाता है. बट ठीक है, बट वी वर डूइंग वेल. बट आई थिंक वी केम इनटू दिस वर्ल्ड कप लाइक ये नाउ वी आर द टॉप 3 टीम इन द वर्ल्ड, एंड ये तो हमारे घर पे ही है. एंड इट्स लाइक क्वार्टर फाइनल तक तो आराम से पहुंच ही जाएंगे. न्यूजीलैंड के we had created a gap between ourselves and the likes of New Zealand and Spain, for example. So वो
Mm.
gap create हो गया था, which we thought के ठीक है न्यूजीलैंड को तो हरा ही देंगे. And that was the feeling till we were 3-1 up. It's like match is over और अब जीतेंगे. And but ठीक है. और even the England match, I think we could have won that. We maybe were a little lackluster there also. So
Yeah.
but ठीक है.
Commonwealth final also was somewhat bump,
हाँ,
right?
बट वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया के
मतलब
साथ तो
in
चलो.
terms of
हाँ.
no, no. So what I meant is, like I was thinking if sacking the coach is like one yet another impatient decision
हम्म,
with the Hockey India as they usually do कि
हम्म,
किसी भी major tournament के बाद if you do not perform well, the first reactionary measure you take is चलो भाई coach को sack कर दो. But it wasn't just World Cup.
हाँ,
Commonwealth Games का जो final था, even that
या
was also hugely disappointing.
और उसके बाद you had a match against France also in the Pro League where France defeated us, and I remember some comments after that कि France is a much improved team. I'm like नहीं, France से नहीं हारना चाहिए. 6-3 or 7-3 we lost, something like that.
But they are.
नहीं, they
I
aren't.
mean, हारना नहीं चाहिए, but in terms of improvement, France is doing pretty well, no?
Yeah, but not at the level where they should be beating India
Yeah,
and
yeah,
even
that is
competing
there.
with India.
Hmm.
That's like saying कि okay, Bangladesh are a better team today than they were 10 years ago in cricket, but you still should not be losing to them or even come close to losing to them. So
Okay,
हाँ, so वो वाली बात है. बट ठीक है, आई गेस.
but then yeah.
एंड कोच का आई थिंक एक वो भी जो मैंने पढ़ा कि इट्स लाइक ही वाज लाइक द फर्म वॉइस इन द टीम सिलेक्शन, बिकॉज
Hmm.
जो हॉकी इंडिया था एट दैट पॉइंट, दे वर स्ट्रगलिंग विथ दिस कोर्ट केसेस एंड वो उनका जो स्पोर्ट्स कोड और वो सब चल रहा था. आई थिंक दे हैड अ सीओए इम्पोज्ड ऑन देम, एंड
Hmm.
वो सब चल रहा था व्हेन द टीम
For a bit,
सिलेक्शन
huh?
हैपेंड. सो they basically deferred to Graham Reed. You just tell us the team and you'll get whatever you want. And his team then came up short. A lot of people said कि okay, captaincy change भी उसी ने किया, which put pressure on Harmanpreet. He didn't take the other drag flickers, which was another problem. And ठीक है,
मुझे
and the same Sindhu logic, right? कि ठीक है, the coach has done well, but maybe you need new things now.
I was just trying to think मतलब they could have given a chance till Asian Games also.
बट देन ओलंपिक्स इज टू क्लोज ना, फिर वो प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है.
ओलंपिक्स इज टू क्लोज, हाँ वो ठीक है, दैट फैक्टर आई टेक इन टू अकाउंट, बट मेरे को वो चीज नहीं समझ आती. एंड यू वुड हैव आल्सो रेड दिस क्वाइट अ फ्यू टाइम्स इन ऑन ट्विटर ऑल्सो. काफी जर्नलिस्ट ये चीज बोलते रहते हैं, एंड फेडरेशन वाले भी ये रोना रोते रहते हैं कि एशियन गेम्स इज अ ओलंपिक क्वालिफिकेशन टूर्नामेंट फॉर अस.
करेक्ट.
सो वी मतलब I don't get that hype. You go for Asian Games with a mindset that you want to win a gold from that. That is the only expectation you should have.
हाँ,
Qualification quota should be a byproduct of it.
बट ठीक है ना,
Asian
एशियन गेम्स में इट्स द सेम थिंग.
अरे बाबा, बट एशियन गेम्स में अगर कोटा नहीं आता, इट्स नॉट अ बिग डील.
या
मतलब
राइट.
considering India's position right now, you can easily win a quota in other tournaments also, right? If you consider yourself as a medal contender, as a top 5 team, you should not be fretting over quota. Is basically what my point is.
बट उसमें
Asian Games quota मैं इतनी बार सुन चुका ना that I never understood that hype.
अच्छा, so I'll tell you. So the other part which I have heard, first of all, तो okay, see, when you're gonna talk about the Asian Games, if there is a quota involved, just the way our country works,
That
so
should not be the primary concern.
सुन तो
Primary
सही.
concern should be gold.
Yeah, I got it. But what I'm saying is that the way things work, the way our country works, Olympic quota is gonna get mentioned, okay? Because it is there. Whenever you're gonna talk about Asian Games, it is gonna get mentioned. And yes, the quota
अरे
is
but
also
that brings unnecessarily more pressure on you, right?
I mean,
The
even the
more,
gold itself is a pretty huge pressure in Asian Games for hockey.
yes, that
Just
is
the
there, but
historically भी बहुत pressure है, because एक तो इंडिया पाकिस्तान का pressure आ जाता है इतना बड़ा हॉकी में.
वो ठीक है, but logically it does not make a lot of sense to me कि इतना तुम कोटा पे फोकस कर रहे हो when you have other opportunities
But
to win a quota.
you are talking also about journalists, right? It's different.
Everyone, not just journalists. I mean,
ठीक.
I don't even have anyone in my mind right now. Just that what you get to read from on your timeline.
ठीक है, but I'll tell you the other point. The other point which I have heard been mentioned कि ठीक है, एशियन गेम्स में अगर कोटा नहीं जीते, यू कैन विन अ कोटा लेटर, yes, but your entire team planning changes based on that. It's like if you have the Asian Games quota, then ठीक है, इस बार तो एशियन गेम्स अब चलो लेट हो रहा है. नॉर्मली इट हैपेंस 2 years बैक, राइट? सो अगर 2022 में एशियन गेम्स हो गया, 2022 सितंबर में एशियन गेम्स हो गया, यू हैव सिक्योर्ड द कोटा. नाउ यू कैन प्लान योर
Accordingly
एंटायर
plan.
1.5 years के we don't have to worry about getting the Olympic spot. We are there in the Olympics. We are focused on the Olympics. If you don't get that quota, then it changes. Then the first focus now is to get the quota, and only then the focus comes to the Olympics. So that is the other thing which we have heard.
So that's what I was thinking. Like, if you are a top 5 team in the world,
But you aren't.
winning a
But you aren't. You are a top 5 borderline, not
so
clear
maybe
top 5. You
somewhere
aren't.
down the somewhere inherently you also know that
Yeah.
maybe that is the case,
I
because
said right
if
in
I
the.
would consider a Germany or a Netherlands, like they wouldn't. ठीक है, Germany are World Cup champions right now, but even before that, they wouldn't be fretting so much over quota, right? कि हाँ हमें quota चाहिए.
नो
And
दे डू. मतलब इफ यू आस्क जर्मनी का भी ना, जर्मनी का तो शेड्यूल देख ले. जर्मनी स्पेशली इज अ टीम जो अपनी पूरी टीम सिर्फ वर्ल्ड कप एंड ओलंपिक या ओलंपिक एडजेसेंट में निकालती है. दे विल नेवर एवर सेंड देयर फुल टीम टू एनी अदर टूर्नामेंट. वर्ल्ड कप में जाएगी, ओलंपिक्स में जाएगी, एंड ओलंपिक क्वालिफिकेशन टूर्नामेंट विच एवर इट इज, दे विल गो. इनफैक्ट जर्मनी का मैंने ये भी सुना है कि व्हाट दे डू इज दे फोकस सो मच ऑन द यूरोपियन चैंपियनशिप कि बस यहाँ गोल्ड आना. एंड ठीक है, कोटा इज गोल्ड, राइट? सो द थिंग यू आर सेइंग ना, फोकसिंग ऑन द कोटा, आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट इन अ शूटिंग पर्सपेक्टिव. कि शूटिंग में इवन अ थर्ड और अ फोर्थ इज अ कोटा, ओनली फर्स्ट इज नॉट कोटा. बट यूरोपियंस, एशियंस, ये कॉन्टिनेंटल्स में ओनली फर्स्ट इज कोटा, राइट? सो इट इज नॉट अ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. Focusing on the gold and focusing on the quota is the same thing, because you have to win gold for quota. सो जर्मनी ने तो पहले बहुत किया है कि हमने पूरी टीम उसी तरह से ये रोटेट की है कि वी गेट आवर बेस्ट टीम टू गो फॉर द यूरोस. वी विन द यूरो एज वेल, वी विन द कोटा एज वेल, एंड देन वही 1-1.5 साल वी कैन प्रिपेयर, वील गो फुल टीम फॉर द ओलंपिक्स. दे इवन स्किप द चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी. चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में हमेशा उनकी हाफ टीम या सेकंड टीम आती है.
ठीक है, if you're saying that, but yeah, 2 साल एडवांस में होता है, it does make sense कि हाँ you have
हाँ, इस
full
बार वो
up
थोड़ा
to
है
2 years.
कि इतना फर्क नहीं है, बिकॉज इट्स एनीवेज सितंबर, बट या स्टिल यू गेट 1 year टू प्रिपेयर. अदरवाइज योर नेक्स्ट फोकस बिकम्स के अभी ओलंपिक क्वालिफायर हमको जीतना है, सो वो
True.
फर्क तो पड़ता ही है. बट ठीक है, द काउंटर पॉइंट टू दैट इज टोक्यो में मेडल आया जहाँ पे हमने एशियन गेम्स में नहीं जीता है कोटा. हम बाद में एकदम टफ
हाँ,
मैच
वो
जीत
भी
के
है,
आए हैं. सो
वो भी है.
हाउ मच दैट मैटर्स इज अ क्वेश्चन, बट
मतलब obviously the focus has to be there. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि बिल्कुल ध्यान ही मत दो, but all the focus should not be on that quota.
see, especially in hockey, I'll say कि it's not even a contradiction. Shooting में I can agree with you कि don't focus on just coming fourth or fifth and getting the quota, focus on winning the gold. But hockey में तो घूम फिर के है तो सेम ही चीज, you have to win the
Hmm.
gold for the quota.
Right.
But ठीक है, anyways,
Okay.
going forward, I think post the World Cup we have done well. I think there
Hmm.
has been a lot of improvement.
Whatever 3-4 matches that
हाँ,
have
जो
happened,
प्रो लीग
right?
के मैचेस हुए हैं, they
Hmm.
played very well. They have got some new blood in as well. They even got some previous players, जो पुराने players जिनको निकाल दिया था उनको भी they got back.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Harmanpreet has found his touch as well. So I at
Yeah.
least enjoyed the 3-4 मैच जो हुए थे. I think on Australia and Holland ही आया था. I think yeah, it was Holland and Australia who came, right? Let me just.
Australia was there. Yes. पहली बार ऑस्ट्रेलिया को रहा है ना after a long time, like in proper
I think
match time में,
हाँ,
and not just the shootout.
right. Yeah, I think ऐसा कुछ हुआ था. I
Germany भी आया ना. Australia was there. Germany was
hold on,
there.
I'm trying to search. India versus Germany. Okay, Germany and Australia came, not Holland and Australia. I remembered Holland and Australia. Yeah, Germany and Australia have come. So
Hmm.
yeah, so at least the मतलब मेरा फीडबैक वही है कि, or at least मेरी फीलिंग वही है. ओलंपिक्स के बाद वी गॉट टू ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट. वर्ल्ड कप के बाद वी हैव कम बैक टू अर्थ. बट नाउ वी आर अगेन स्टार्टिंग
But
टू
yeah,
राइज एंड
yeah.
डूइंग वेल.
Hopefully it's a blessing in disguise in that case. कि एक reality check मिला है छोटा सा नहीं बहुत
बहुत
बड़ा.
बड़ा सा.
तो ठीक है. Lastly,
वुमेन,
women's hockey you want to talk about?
हाँ, वुमेन्स ऑल्सो दे हैड वही प्रो लीग था, साउथ अफ्रीका नेदरलैंड्स. आई थिंक अगेन वी डिड वेल देयर.
Hmm.
Netherlands is too dominant, but we at least, I don't think we
Yeah.
won. We lost only, but we gave them a good fight.
Hmm.
And yeah, women's hockey is also progressing. You still don't feel like they are a medal winning team or anything. ठीक है, we
How
did
about
great in
Asian
Tokyo.
level?
Asian level पे तो we should, last time ही
We
थे.
should be winning, right?
Yeah, Asian
Like
level पे
the
I
only
think
contender is China.
China है, Japan है, but we are much better than both of them.
And tell me this thing. What's the latest update on? So even Australia and New Zealand were supposed to participate in
They
Asian
are,
Games, right?
अच्छा, Asian Games, okay. Yeah, that I
Hmm.
don't know.
They were right.
I don't remember hearing it.
Yes, they were supposed to, and in fact, Russia also might participate in
रशिया
Asian
का
Games.
तो सुना मैंने कि रशिया का
Hmm.
बहुत इशू चल रहा था. एंड
Hmm.
रशिया का इनफैक्ट ऐसा भी चल रहा था कि दे आर ट्राइंग टू वर्क आउट अ फॉर्मूला वेयर दे कैन पार्टिसिपेट बट दे डोंट टेक द एशियन कोटास.
Hmm.
ऐसा ऐसा सब चल रहा था.
कुछ तो चल रहा है, but yeah, like
Hmm.
was thinking if
By the way,
Australia is going to be there for Asian Games, so
chess,
then it's a game changer.
chess by the way is, you know, that one sport where Russia has officially moved to Asia.
Oh, okay. In terms of their
Federation.
continental federation.
Yeah, so they have officially moved to Asia.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. So
hmm.
yeah, all in all, women's hockey is in good
I
hands
think
from what
hockey,
we have seen.
hockey, women's definitely looking up.
Hmm.
शॉपमैन इज डूइंग वेल, बट ठीक है,
Yeah.
स्टिल अ लॉन्ग वे टू गो.
Hmm.
रानी रामपाल का थोड़ा वो था कि पहले निकाल दिया, देन शी वाज गॉट बैक. बट ठीक है,
Hmm.
वुमेन में आई थिंक वन क्वेश्चन यू कैन रेज इज मे बी द
She
पिक.
hasn't got back actually. Like she's not in
wasn't
the
she picked
squad.
wasn't she picked
So there was the squad announced 33 member squad today. She's not a part of
ओ
that.
33 में भी नहीं है. ओके
That's what.
ओके, ठीक है, दैट्स अ
Hmm.
बिग थिंग. ओके, आई थॉट शी गॉट पिक्ड एट सम पॉइंट, बट ठीक है. Yeah, okay, that's sad then. And a couple of other players play. I think वो beauty Dung Dung had come, but ठीक है. मतलब I don't know about the bench strength of women's hockey. We are
Hmm.
seeing the same players largely, and I
Yeah.
don't know if a bench strength exists. Men में you see a lot more new names.
Right.
But देखते हैं, हॉकी का तो वही अनप्रिडिक्टेबल हमेशा रहता ही है. And
Asian Games
big thing,
might
big deal.
be, it's a big deal, and
And even the Pro League, I think Pro League watching is a lot of fun. I don't know तूने देखा कि नहीं देखा.
थोड़ा बहुत मतलब ज्यादा नहीं,
Hmm.
इधर उधर हल्का फुल्का.
ठीक है.
ठीक है. Yeah, we have past 40
Your
minutes to what
yeah,
we decided.
your deadline well past.
Yeah, yeah.
But Saturday
ठीक है,
night
I
है.
think we've covered
हाँ.
quite a lot.
तो डेडलाइन भी
कपिल सैटरडे नाइट है मतलब क्या 1 बजने वाले हैं,
हाँ
सोना
तो
नहीं है क्या?
मैं तो उठा हूँ, तेरे को बोला था यार, मैं तो उठा था.
तो तेरा रूटीन हर कोई फॉलो नहीं कर सकता
हाँ
ना।
एग्जैक्टली. वही तो ना, वो तेरा ही रूटीन है, मेरा तो क्या है यार.
वो जनरल रूटीन है कपिल।
हाँ तो मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ ना, मेरा तो क्या है, तू बता जब आ
अच्छा।
जाएगा.
हाँ
मैं सुबह
ठीक है, आई
5 बजे
थिंक वी
तक
हैव
बैठ
कवर्ड
जाऊंगा अपने
क्वाइट अ
जाके.
लॉट, मतलब
हाँ.
काफी हद तक कवर कर लिया है। थोड़ा सा अभी देखते हैं मई जून में, मे बी विल पिक अप एनी क्वालिफिकेशन वेट लिफ्टिंग
हाँ.
का या कुछ डिकोड करते हैं।
हाँ आई थिंक as more and more tournaments come, we can try to become more and more regular.
हम्म,
एशियन गेम्स में
ठीक है।
भी we can do something, देखेंगे क्या कर
ठीक है,
सकते
एंड
हैं.
वन मोर थिंग बिफोर वी गो। सो आई गॉट अ कपल ऑफ डीएम्स टुडे आस्किंग कि पेरिस टिकट के बारे में बात करने के लिए कि क्या सिस्टम है, हाउ डू यू, मतलब ऑब्वियसली पहला रिएक्शन तो मेरा यही था, इट्स टू लेट नाउ।
नहीं नहीं, इट्स नॉट टू
बट
लेट.
या वी कैन,
इट्स ओके.
मतलब थोड़ा सा लेट।
हाँ थोड़ा
वी
लेट
वी
या.
हाँ, तो मे बी बिफोर द ड्रॉज स्टार्ट अगेन ऑन 11th में वी कैन मे बी
नहीं
डिस्कस
बट
दैट एज वेल।
ठीक है, we can. I'll just say quickly, if anybody is interested in what Paris का ticket is, ticketing is much more simplified this time. You don't have to worry too much. There is one central website which is selling tickets, and that central website takes out a lucky draw. If you are selected in the lucky draw, then you get access to the website, और फिर वो website पे जो भी दिख रहा है you can buy. So the only thing you have to do right now is go to the Paris website. It's tickets.paris2024.org. Go there and just register. So just
या
register for the draw. The draw will start in May. 11th May is the first day. 9th May से मेल्स आने चालू हो जाएंगे कि this is the day. So for example, you might get a mail on 9th May कि on 11th May you can access the website. So you access the
ठीक है,
website,
बट
you go
लाइक
and
देयर
buy
आर
the tickets.
ऑब्वियसली मोर निटी-ग्रिटीज अटैच्ड
हाँ,
टू इट,
which
राइट?
tickets
एंड
to buy
क्या
is a
तुम
different issue altogether.
व्हिच
हाँ.
टिकट्स एंड व्हाट आर सम ऑफ द लाइक, क्या बेस्ट तरीके हैं टिकट लेने के, एंड इवन बियॉन्ड दैट रीसेलिंग पोर्टल एंड वो
हम्म.
सब चीजें तो,
हम्म.
एंड ओवरऑल एक्सपीरियंस आल्सो, लाइक वी कैन टॉक अबाउट रियो ओलंपिक एक्सपीरियंस की
या.
क्या चीजें करनी है, देखते हैं, विल सी इफ
हाँ
वी
मैं
हैव टू।
हाँ मैं तो इधर ही हूँ, whenever you want to do, जब भी फ्री हो.
हाँ,
हाँ but
चलेगा,
as
ठीक
of now
है।
if anybody wants tickets, just do one thing. It's free, there's no obligation at all. Just go to tickets.paris2024.org and register yourself in the draw. Register yourself, register your sister, register your brother,
एंड इट्स अ
register your
वेरी वेल
father, mother.
डॉक्यूमेंटेड प्रोसेस आल्सो, लाइक यू
हाँ.
कैन रीड
Yeah.
देयर एज वेल।
Yeah, and register yourself, your sister, your father, your mother, your
और
house,
लाइक कपिल यू
your
कैन
house help,
रजिस्टर
your house
30
help.
30
Hey, hey,
डिफरेंट
hey,
अकाउंट्स।
hey, 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 क्या है? कुछ भी 30 डिफरेंट अकाउंट्स. 30 वट्टी कुछ नहीं है. शांति.
ऑलराइट, ऑन दैट नोट,
शांति शांति
ठीक
कुछ
है।
नहीं है. बट या रजिस्टर योर हाउस हेल्प, रजिस्टर एवरीबडी यू नो. हाँ.
ठीक है,
हाँ.
ऑलराइट, या गुड
हाँ.
फन कपिल,
हाँ. ठीक है.
कैचिंग अप आफ्टर अ लॉन्ग टाइम, अच्छा
हम्म.
डिस्कशन रहा।
हम्म.
मिलते हैं जल्दी फिर।
चलो फिर आई एम जस्ट सर्चिंग फॉर माई एंड स्ट्रीम बटन. एंड बाय गाइस.
ऑलराइट, बाय गाइस, थैंक्स फॉर ट्यूनिंग
मजे
इन।
करो. होपफुली विल कम बैक सून. बाय बाय.
बाय बाय। कोई
यस.
बोल रहा है हाँ।